We want to press record. All right, we're recording. We in the game. Cheers. You got your...
Yes.
Yo, baby, your banger. Hey.
Blessings,
my man, White Dave in the building.
A little bit of that heme.
What's up, podcast world? How y'all
man.
out there doing? This is like the third or fourth video I've done, so it's kind of like this. 200 episodes in, and I just started the video portion. So I'm like, but that's why I need that intern over here, so I don't got to worry about I could just worry about the guest and the camera, and I have to worry about the TV.
I understand completely, but also I come from the old school of doing everything myself.
Yourself, yeah, exactly. Me too. But it's like I ain't gonna lie, like this video portion is like it's really distracting for me because I always have to like constantly look, and I gotta check 2 programs now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna set this up. I'm gonna get another monitor so I can have the video and the audio going.
Yeah, that'll be a look.
All right, so it's White Dave in the motherfucking building for the podcast, folks. Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Man, shit, so my artist name White Dave, legal name, government name Noah David Kugler.
Okay.
I rap, sing, engineer, write, act, direct. Man, I do it all, man. Anything that get the creative juices flowing.
Well,
but I can't draw.
I can't either.
I can't draw or nothing like that.
Bro, my daughter can draw hella good. She be shitting on me all the time. Every time we talk about drawing, she like, he can't even draw a stick figure.
It's like okay, well,
if I was to roast you, you'd be crying. So what the fuck?
Exactly.
Let me talk about how you can't cook, you little bro.
exactly. Throw it right back out.
Right. Make me some grits, eggs, and bacon like I make for you all the time.
Oh, you can't.
Right.
Okay.
Shut your ass up.
Man, that shit, bro. It's hard, man. Both my brothers can draw well. My mom can't draw, but my mom sang. So my dad can draw.
Right.
My dad can draw, and both my brothers can draw. Can't draw.
I can't draw for shit
Can't draw, can't paint, can't
do none of that shit. I don't even want to take the time to learn it either.
Exactly.
Fuck all that shit.
But I have an appreciation for it. Like for me, especially when it comes to being like artistic expression, if it's some shit that I can't do, endless appreciation for it.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Like I appreciate niggas who can rap. Like that's like great. But niggas who can play instruments, motherfuckers who can do sound design, like for movies and shit like that. You know what I mean? People who are just naturally artistic. Like for me, musically, I had to kind of polish myself, and I always had a love for it. You know what I mean? But I didn't have the natural skill.
Same.
For motherfuckers who can sit down and just
go. Yeah,
that shit's
play any instrument up from sight and all that shit.
Yeah, that's my cousin, man. My cousin, man, shout out DeAndre. That's my cousin, man. He out there in Atlanta. He play by ear. He can hear a song.
Right. I said by sight. I meant by ear.
Yeah, same shit. We know.
Right, you know what you mean, right?
Know.
So what's your journey with the music? Like, when did you start? When did you want to start making it yourself? And how'd you start from square one and get to where you at now? What's that journey like?
Always loved music. Grew up with it. My mom sang in the choir. I spent a lot of time with her in church. Always loved music. I didn't create, or I didn't think about creating my own music until I was maybe like 10 or 11.
Okay.
And then by that time, my older brother, who a lot of people don't know, was used to rap and make music and shit. And I remember he came home with a cassette tape that he had made down the street at my mentor's house. His name is Chris. He ended up being my mentor, taught me everything I know.
Okay.
But he made a bunch of songs down the block. And at that point, I didn't realize that anybody could go in the studio and make songs. I thought you had to be somebody famous, So Big Bro came and played that shit, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yo, this is tight. Like, this shit is clean as fuck. And then, man, from that day on, man, I was hooked. My older brother has probably been the most prominent figure in my development as an artist, man. He bought me my first software, my first mic, first monitors. Like he kind of saw my interest in it. We had, what's crazy is before we even had any software and shit like that, we had keyboards at the house. And I'd just be on the keyboards. Just playing, making beats and shit. We had a Casio, OG Casio. Was a 4-track recorder. Man,
it was classic.
The drums.
Yeah, all that shit.
Do the drums and do the sounds and shit. So,
that's tight as fuck.
So super, super cool. But I've been in love with music my whole life, and I've been surrounded by it my whole life. So really, really artistic people on my mom's side of the family. Like her dad played instruments. His brothers played instruments. Their parents played instruments. My mom played clarinet and sang. And so you know, the love for music was, man.
It was there. It was born
in my genes.
with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same with me. My story is like, so my dad, both my mom and my dad play a major part in like my subconscious of wanting to do music. You know, my dad is a musician, and for as long as I can remember, always had a studio in the house. Always had an in-house studio, right? But my mom, she's not musically inclined, but she just loves music, you know. And I spent the majority of my time with my mom, because we'll be with my dad like on the weekends, you know. So my mom just always had music going. She just always like when we in the car, we're listening to the radio or her songs and CDs. And no, I can't answer this motherfucker. My bad, y'all. So but then on top of that, like when me and my brother would get in trouble, she would like put us on punishment and take everything away, like you know, from the computer to the TV to you know, if you go younger, to my toys, like anything that we really fucked with, but the radio. You know what I'm saying? So she would always still let us listen to music. And I remember, like, you know, some of them times, because, you know, little boys, you run around, your dad ain't in the house, so you fucking bad, you stay on punishment and shit. So we stay getting shit taken away. But I would always, like, when I couldn't play a video game, because that was my big thing, was playing video games. If I couldn't do that, then and I'm on punishment, like I was stuck on that radio, was really studying that shit. You feel me?
Hell yeah.
Played a major part.
Hell yeah. When'd you make your first song?
I made my first song. I was in like 19, I think, and I was like 2004, 2005, 2004. Yeah, around them years.
Yeah, them was the days back then, man. See, 2004, 2005, I was in high school, and I was making beats at the time.
What year you graduated?
I graduated 08.
Okay, I was 03.
And it's crazy because when I was younger, it wasn't as many rappers as there are. Well, I won't say that. It wasn't as accessible.
Right, definitely.
Like, motherfuckers wasn't recording like that. Like, I had a studio in high school, and it was the USB hookup. And, like, and that was, like, cutting edge for the time. Like, because niggas just didn't have studios. And so I was making beats and having cats from high school come over and just rap. Like, just rap. And I just remember that time period, man. So amazing, man. Like, that was around the time my Ghetto Report Card came out.
That's E40, right? Yeah.
Man,
was that the album that had "Tell Me When to Go" on it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And like,
right.
And it just really set the stage for
a lot of shit.
For a lot of shit, man. Yeah. And I just remember growing up in that time period and making music in that time period, and that shit was.
It's an amazing time, man. Yeah, it's like. That was, I want to say it was before the hyphy movement got hella big. It was when it was still like an organic thing, and and the niggas that was really a part of that shit was like, but I mean like a part of it in the lifestyle, not just on the music tip. That was when we was like really living what, you know, the masses then began to see like two years later. You feel me? Yeah, it was a real magical time before. But I always kind of talk bad on a lot of the hyphy movement on here because I feel like it was so. You can't commercialize a lot of the spirit and culture that comes. So a lot of shit was hella boosty to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But that's just because I was a little bit older than everybody else. So
which is good though, because it gives you, you know, when you look at shit from a seasoned perspective, when you can look back on shit, you're looking back on it with a better eye.
Yeah.
Like you're more mature. You're able to evaluate things better. You know, growing up in it, it's the shit.
Right.
I look back on it and I'm like, some of these things probably, you know, not necessarily were the best things for the Bay. I feel like as much as the hyphy movement helped the Bay, it also stifled it.
It for sure did.
Because it's now people, they almost won't accept anything but that from Bay Area artists. It's like, if it's not hyphy, we don't want it.
We ain't fucking with it.
And like really and truly, that was a moment in time.
Right.
It was like a moment in time where our culture and our notoriety has started to take off.
Right.
And then people took the cool aspects of it, publicized it nationally.
They try to commercialialize a lot of. You can't commercialize town shit. You can't. You feel me?
You gotta come here and experience.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to.
Man, but that's all rap is though. You know, taking a product and making it so that everybody wants a piece of it. You know what I mean? You look at what's going on in Atlanta. You know, me and my brothers talk about this shit. We're huge music outskirts, and we talk about this shit all the time. You look at Atlanta, how each of the artists coming out of Atlanta are similar, but they're different.
Right.
And they each scratch a different itch. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's like people talk about how similar all the Atlanta artists are, but you also have to reference how different they are. You know what I mean? And that's part of that. I don't want to say it's part of the commercialization, because although Atlanta music, trap music, has been commercialized, it still holds some of its own identity within each individual artist.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like with hyphy, they tried to take hyphy as a whole thing and not differentiate between any other artists.
Exactly.
It's just, let's just see if we can get the whole movement on board.
Right. And everybody, even you conscious rappers, just talk about, you know what I'm saying, rippers and shit, rippers, slippers, and all, like, come on, my nigga.
But that's it's, the people love to, if they can put you in a box, they will. You know, and when you don't fit in a box, it makes listeners uncomfortable. That's why it's so hard, in my opinion. This is not fact. I hate speaking. Make sure that I clarify that. This is in my opinion. That's why it's a lot more difficult for Bay Area artists to kind of break through that barrier, that regional barrier that a lot of us face. You know, you look at somebody like G-Eazy, who was able to break that barrier. You know what I mean? But you take somebody like a Keek the Sneak, who laid the foundation for a lot of these Bay Area rappers, but was never able to
skyrocket. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's gifts and curses. That's all.
But without the hyphy movement, we couldn't have what we have right now. This movement that we have going on with the Bay and the creative, artistic scene that is on an underground level, but also a national level. We couldn't get to where we are right now without having to go through, that first little hyphy movement, So I gotta give praise where it's due. I can't never just shit on my ancestors and the motherfuckers that came before me.
Man, absolutely.
Yeah.
The hyphy movement is what I based my career off of at the beginning. You know what I mean? You go back and I still have every song I've ever made. You go back in the archives and that's what I was making. You know what I mean? Like that's
I definitely gotta hear some of this shit.
Like that's what I was making. That's what I was listening to at the time.
Right.
And it was a direct reflection of my life.
Exactly.
16, 17, 18.
Right.
Damn.
It was so dope, bro, to be like out, because at this time I was like 19 up until like 22, around that age, you feel me? So having my own car, painting in town, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like in the streets, just doing dumb shit, but then being able to like at the same time hear my lifestyle for the first time in my life, the lifestyle that I'm currently living, to hear played on a national level. That was a feeling that was fucking amazing at the time. So fucking amazing, and it's amazing now because still like the people that are on a national level, they're representing to me the Bay in such a better way, because it is more of a diverse mindset coming with each artist that have national recognition, So it's like we get to see our lifestyle, because it's still kind of hyphy in a sense, because it's still like, that Bay Area playerism type shit, but
it's grown legs is what it's done.
Right,
it's
exactly.
evolved. Like you look at it, I look at music as evolution. You look at the hyphy movement. That was a single-celled organism.
Keep that up.
And for sure, my fault. And you look at that as a single-celled organism that starts to evolve.
Right.
We still have elements of hyphy music in our music today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We've grown legs. We've learned how to swim. We've learned how to fly. We've learned how to run. And all that's doing is making the brand and making just the feeling and taking hyphy and turning it into a whole new thing.
Right.
And it's, it takes. We realize it and we can see it because we're here, but consumers can't necessarily see it. You know what I mean? Consumers they got the blinders on. They're so focused on what they think they know is coming out of the Bay. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
what was when you made your very, very first song and heard it back? What was that feeling? What was it like for you?
Oh man! So it was called Kitchen Freestyle.
Okay.
That's where the studio was. My first couple of years when I was up and running, it was in the kitchen because we had one computer, and that was the only computer in the house that could run the software that we had. We had another computer it was like an old Macintosh, so you couldn't run nothing on it. It was just good for games.
Okay.
But we had this old school Dell. And I had
the
USB, and I had this software called Hip Hop EJ5. Shout out Hip Hop EJ5, and that's where I made my first couple slaps, and it was some hyphy shit. Like it was bop, 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 bop. Like it's like up tempo slapping. You know what I mean? And that's this is back when I was, how old was I when I made that song? I was 12 years old when I made that. 13. I was 13 years old when I made that song. You know, and so. You know.
No, but like that feeling when you hear it through the speakers, like, did you like how it sounded? Did you have?
Oh man, I hated how it sounded. I hated how it sounded. And let me tell you, I hate man, to this day. I'm so glad that's part of the reason that I took learning how to engineer so serious.
Okay.
And just learning the technical aspects of making music. I knew that I wanted to make music, and I didn't realize how many there are different levels of creating music. Definitely. Even an engineer creates music. An engineer who doesn't write anything or doesn't create a beat is still creating music. He's taking pieces of sounds that you gave him, and or him or her, and he's manipulating them and creating. And I didn't realize that that's an aspect in creating music. And so when I first heard that shit, it sounded terrible because I didn't know nothing about compression, no EQ, no delay, no mono, stereo, nothing of that. Mastering, what? None of that shit. I just had
you had the
MP3 that I fucking banged out on FL Studio, probably 8, some shit like that. You know what I mean? And then plug that shit. I plugged that shit into Hip Hop EJ5 and went for broke. You know, but like.
And at that time, you had already did you have the idea on like how to write enough bars, like to formulate the song, the structure, and all that?
Man, so did.
How'd you learn that?
At the time when I was young, I don't know. I guess somehow my brain grew and matured. But when I was young, I listened to music and heard it and processed it differently. I couldn't count bars, but I could count seconds. And I realized that different songs with different tempos, I knew what a tempo was because I've been to church and I understand, but different songs with different tempos, the length of the verses are different. And that's how I first learned how to write raps. I was making beats and I wasn't fully understanding the concept of beats. Right. I was just understanding that, okay, that sounds about where I would bring the hook in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Right. So that's how I started. And then when I got to about 15, 16, this is about 05, 06, I was going to Mac. And they had Avid class, and next to the Avid class, they had the Reason class, where you go in there to learn Reason.
You attended Mac?
Yeah, I attended Mac for a year.
Same for my 12th grade year.
Bless, hell yeah, man.
Mac house,
man. Love that place, man. I was actually part of that team that won the Silver Bowl the year that we only lost one game. Okay. We lost to Crenshaw. That was the year we went to L.A. and lost to Crenshaw.
Oh damn, that's tight.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace to Gav too. He was on that team. He just died, man. That shit is wild.
Damn.
But so I didn't really understand the technical bar counting bars and shit like that. So I was like 14, 15, and by that time, man, I was by 15, I was producing, writing, engineering, and recording my own shit.
That's tight, bro.
So I've been doing this shit for
a long time,
hella long, and I'm finally getting comfortable with how shit sounds out of the home studio. Like I've been building my home studio for like 20 years, damn near.
Right.
And I'm finally like, okay, this shit sounds professional.
Good,
this sounds. And it took a while to get there, cause
a lot of trial and error and all that shit, I bet.
And all my old shit is online, bro. I won't tell people where it is, but it's all online.
You can find it.
It's all online, bro. All of it. I'm talking all like 3,000 songs, bro. Like they're there. It's like
you still got it, yeah. I still got my songs, but my old shit ain't up nowhere. But I still got my shit. And I recently went back and listened to some of it, and I'm damn near started crying, bro. Cause for me, it made me happy because I'm still talking about the same shit, but not in a bad way. You feel me? I still morally, my raps or shit has still got that same fucking message, that same positive message. Right. But it's just the bars are better, the delivery's better, it's clearer. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you seasoned.
Right.
It's you become seasoned, and man.
I can't wait to put out that old shit though. But it's like I haven't got to that level in my life where it's gonna be appreciated. Like it'll be appreciated by people that know me. Right. You feel me? But I want to get to the point where the fans is like, oh, I want to hear this classic Beejus shit. Exactly, and it's like, oh my God, like I want to give articles written about that. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm gonna tell you. I saw you perform maybe it may have been 4 or 5 years ago in San Jose.
Okay, in San Jose.
Yes, you performed with your brother with Oops.
With Oops, yeah.
And I was like, damn, these niggas rocking. Like,
Right on.
like these niggas rocking.
In San Jose, what was like at the back door?
It was like I'm gonna tell you what it was like. It was like the entrance, the main entrance was here. The main club was here. Okay. And they had a little stage in the back there.
Okay.
But if you walk in here and you bust a right.
And it's to like a bigger.
Exactly. And they had a stage.
Yeah, you're right there in the middle.
There, and the crowd shit was here, and they had like little outside food and shit.
Yeah. That's the back door.
Man. Yeah. So this was a while ago. And that shit was tight.
That's what's
I
up.
saw y'all rock out, and I was like, oh yeah. I had no idea. See, at the time, I didn't know who y'all were.
Okay.
And y'all rocked out, bro. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Whoever these niggas
is. And I'm going to tell you who got me hip to you, though. Kales. I was with my boy Kales.
Okay.
That's been my homie since high school. We met back in back freshman year. I was at St. Mary's for a second, freshman year. And but yeah. And y'all rocked out. And I've been a fan ever since.
On,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Right on.
Hell
what?
yeah.
How many high schools did you go to?
I went to 5.
God damn, I went to 3.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I went to a lot.
But tell me this though. Tell me, you know a lot of people as a result.
Bro, I was just about to say it's one of the most beneficial things that's ever happened.
Yes.
Because it started me off before I wanted to even be like, you know, somebody that needed like supporters and followers and like fans and shit. Right. It just started me off with a network of people that I just, anywhere I go, I know people because I went to 3 different high schools in different parts of the Bay Area. You feel me?
Exactly. And that's, I didn't always look at it that way.
Me either.
And for me, my teenage years were, I won't say rough, but that left an impact on me. Switching schools like that.
Same.
And I can appreciate it now, but up to this point, I always looked at it as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I realized that I got to experience the entire spectrum. I got to experience McClymonds, and I got to experience Bishop O'Dowd. And it was like, those are like,
right, polar opposites.
Yeah, like I started off at St. Mary's, went to El Cerrito, went to Mac, went to O'Dowd, finished at Beehive.
Oh yeah, so you
yeah. I got to experience a lot, but it helped me in the long run.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that shit, man. And I met each one of those places introduced me to very important people in my life to this day.
Same to this day, for sure. Some of my best friends, some of the people like business wise. I mean, the reason why I even know Oops is because I went to Mac, and I was in the same grade as his 2 older cousins. And just through the magic, the grace of me having hella weed, that's what I would always use, bro. And even to this day, I still use that shit as like a barrier breaker. You feel me? I was like new at Mac. I was damn near like, even though I grew up in West Oakland, I was still like scared to go to Mac. You feel me? I was like, man, I know that school, nigga, ain't cool. I don't know about that shit, bro. But I would go to school every day with like an 1/8 of weed and just be like, I got weed, y'all. Like, y'all niggas trying to smoke?
Man.
Yeah. And just I have so many to this day best friends because of the weed I was smoking in high school.
Bro, that shit, man. Bro, nigga, with my folks. So for me, my folks told me I was going to Mac, bro. First off, I'd never heard of it.
Fuck.
I never heard of it. You know, I'm from Richmond.
Right.
I spent the first 5 years of my life in North Oakland, but I moved to Richmond when I was 5, and I've been there.
That's all you know.
That's what I know.
Right.
And so my folks was like, yeah, you're going to Mac. And I'm like, where the hell is that? Like, what's that? And they're like, West Oakland. Now, I'd heard of West Oakland.
Right.
And what's crazy is I didn't know it, but when I was a youth, I went to daycare in West Oakland. I grew up at Harriet Tubman Daycare Center.
Okay.
So I didn't know that I knew West Oakland, but at the same time, I'm like, here I am, 15 years old. Like, wait, what?
Right.
West Oakland.
What was the reason that you had to go there?
Man, so I mean, I don't want to.
Oh, I mean, you don't.
I was a football stud.
Okay.
And you know, at the time, we had a good relationship with Coach Carter, who ended up even coaching me in college, which was amazing. But I had a great shout out, Coach Carter. I had a great relationship with Coach Carter.
That's like Coach Carter that they made the movie about?
Nah, that's Richmond's Coach Carter. Right, this is West Oakland's Coach Carter. I never met that one. I wasn't much of a
Samuel Jackson.
I wasn't much of a hooper. I would have never met that Coach Carter. I met this nigga. He used to call himself the real Coach Carter.
Okay.
Hey, and no lie, you ask around, niggas know.
Yeah.
Ask around the West where niggas know about Carter.
Right.
But I had a great relationship with him, man, and so transferred to Mac, played JV until I turned 15, and then come on up to VAR. I didn't play much on VAR, but it felt good to be able to say, "Hey, I play varsity."
VAR,
you know what I'm saying?
right. That's tight.
But yeah, man. So
you went there because of the I'm about to say hoop, but because of the football.
Played ball, but it was crazy because played ball, did well. Then my folks was like, "Well, we don't know if academically you're being prepared for the next level," which is why they wouldn't flip the whole script and put me in O'Dowd.
O'Dowd. So you graduated from O'Dowd?
I graduated from Beehive.
Oh, right. You did say that.
TBH,
Okay.
bro. I flunked out of O'Dowd. They kicked me out of O'Dowd for grades.
Damn.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit for me, but also I didn't embrace it. It was definitely my the teenage rebellious.
That was my 11th grade year too. Because my first 2 years I went to Tech.
Oh, okay, go crazy.
And I had like the time of my life there, but just too much fun. You feel me?
Yeah.
Mom's was like, "Yeah, bro, it's too like I don't know what's going on up at that school, but like we got to get your little black ass out. You can't do it." So she ended up at first, bro, she was gonna make me go to a school in San Francisco because my dad lived in Frisco.
Okay,
and so that started my whole like rebellion. Like, there's no way y'all about to send me to no fucking Frisco school, nigga. I'm from Oakland.
Yeah.
I'm not going to no Frisco school. I damn near wish I would have went because I would have loved to just see what that dynamic was. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like hella rebelling. Then they finally get me to go to Encinel in Alameda.
Okay. Shout out Encinel. I know Encinel.
Encinel was one of the funnest years of my life, but at the time I'm like, bro, this is square ass Asian niggas up here. Like all these niggas claiming murder dubs, and like how every black nigga claim murder dubs.
Right.
Like y'all niggas fake as fuck. I was so mad going to that school, but I had one of the funnest years of my life there.
Amen.
And then ended up not getting kicked out, but they didn't let me back in the next year type of shit. You feel me?
That's how they get you.
Right. Yeah. So then it was too late because my mom was gonna let me go back to Tech, but it was too late to get the inter-district transfer, so I had to go to Mac.
Right.
But I don't
was your time
regret.
at Mac though?
Mac was it was an experience, but that shit was it was fun, bro, because it was that was like that big transitionary year for me because I was going 17 to 18 senior year.
Yep.
You feel me? I made a lot of bad decisions afterwards, but that's what made me who I am and being able to. Right? It's definitely.
That's the. And I realize that now.
Right.
When you're making the bad decisions, you don't realize that.
Right.
I realize that now. At some point, you're gonna make bad decisions. Some of them have consequences that last a lifetime.
Right.
And some of them have consequences that last a moment. But that's the experience.
Right.
That's the maturation. That's why we're here.
Exactly.
And so sorry, you
good.
That's like a hot button. That's like a hot button topic. Like,
but that's 1000% true in what you said about like some things that you do can last a lifetime. And so like some of the bad decisions that I was doing, I'm lucky that they didn't because it definitely could have cost me my life or a lifetime in jail or a stint in jail which then led to some, and I was never cut out for no street shit. But growing up in West Oakland and being more on the square side, like I always felt outsider. So I always wanted to like chase that type of lifestyle because it's like, bro, I hated being a target. Like I want to be amongst these niggas that's out here robbing me and shit.
Exactly.
So then once I got in with more of the street niggas at the Mac, I just started kind of following that lifestyle that way. You feel me? Yeah. But I had a very, very good time, bro. Like Patty, you know what I'm saying? Like the fucking
Patty
nigga.
Come
gosh.
Come on.
To this day, I've not had no goddamn cafeteria food that was that good, bro.
No.
I remember my first.
Moms used to roast me for eating. She's like, "You went to school with lunch. What are you doing in Patty line?"
Like you have no idea, Moms.
Don't worry about it. Look, don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh, bro! I remember first day, niggas was like, "Hey, we about to go get lunch." I'm like, "Okay, like where? Like where we going? Like are we about to go in Patty?" I'm like, "What's Patty? Like it's the cafeteria." I'm like, niggas eating cafeteria food? Like, bruh, you would get roasted at Tech if you ate at the fucking cafeteria free lunch. Like, niggas was roasting you. Nobody ate that shit. You feel me? Then Encinel had better. Like, we had, like, Pizza Hut and shit up there. So it was a little bit more privileged. You feel me?
Exactly.
So I get up there. I'm like, nigga, I don't remember what the first meal was, but I just remember niggas was fighting for place, nigga. Like, okay, it makes sense.
Don't step out of line. You step out of line, you gotta go to the back.
Exactly. And if you cut, you get banked, nigga.
Exactly. Please leave. I wasn't cutting anybody. I'm not cutting anybody. I'll wait my turn. Yeah, I'll wait. It's good. It's good. Hey.
I see so many fights about niggas cutting in line at Patty, bro.
Surprisingly, I only had a few scuffles at Mac.
See, bro. I didn't have any.
I
was avoiding all that shit.
I only had a few. My thing was. What was crazy was I wasn't the only cat from Richmond out there, which was tight. I actually ran into my boy Bernstein out there. Bernstein, but that was my big thing. Like the way I saw it was I'm in the West and I'm by myself.
Right, you can't.
I have my homies from the team. Like, you know what I mean. I was able to work out over the summer and get some some brothers from football. But like aside from that, I'm by myself, and so that's something I always used to keep in the back of my mind. But I ended up being super tight with my homies from Mac, man. I see them all the time, man.
Yeah, Mac House, bro. This shit. You ever go to the reunion barbecues that they be having? Yeah, every summer, like in August, they have a reunion barbecue. It's like generations of people that went to Mac they do it every fucking summer, bro.
I'm pulling up.
Yeah, and everybody out there.
That's a plug right there.
Yeah, for real.
That's a plug.
All the aunties and uncles, all them, you know what I'm saying? OC, because West Oakland is like a lot of like these black communities. Back in the days, it was like really small and tight knit, right. So it's just generations and generations of people that have just grown up around each other, and so all the people that went to Mac is just it's just just one big ass reunion.
It's a real life brotherhood, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't realize because Mac was for sure the smallest school that I went to, and as a result, you end up inadvertently not even realizing it, but knowing everybody there.
Yeah,
you end up knowing and or being familiar with everyone there, and that was something that I never experienced at any other school that I went to, which is pretty cool.
I always wanted to go to Berkeley High. That was the one school I always wanted to go to, cause me, like the type of person that I was, I've always been like a multicultural ass nigga, and I'm damn near talking about the girls I'm fucking with. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
You feel me? So like, Be High just had them.
Yeah,
they had them like that, and it had this like the different cultures. Like you feel me? The majority of my schools that I went to, like when I went to Encinal, I didn't hang out with like anybody that wasn't really black. Right. So the blacks just all kind of stuck together. Everybody at Tech acted the same. Everybody at Mac acted the same. It wasn't like skateboarders here. It wasn't like the druggies over here. Division. It wasn't like the white people over there. Like you know what I'm saying? It was just, but like for me, and this is only like outside looking in as a high schooler at the time. I always looked at like, damn, Be High got like other people to kick it with. In my elementary school, I kicked it with all types of people because it was a very diverse school. Right. So I was like, damn, I kind of miss kicking it with the niggas that's skating and shit like that. So yeah, Be High was.
Be High. I'm gonna tell you like this. My kid's going to Be High.
I feel
and
it.
I that's you take that statement to the bank.
Right.
The reason I enjoyed Berkeley High. Now, one, I was able to compare it to my previous experiences, which helped. But the thing about Berkeley High is it's a college environment, college atmosphere.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's big.
Right.
It's spacious.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got the freedom to, if you want to leave, you can. Like there's having that aspect of freedom, having the big campus, having the large numbers, having the different college or the different they have different schools within Berkeley.
Right. The academies.
Having that type of setup, very beneficial, and it helped me realize what it is that I needed to be successful. My grades were solid at Be High. Like I was never a straight A student, but my grades were solid at Be High, especially having come from like the shit that I did at O'Dowd. Like it was very necessary for me to go to college. Like I had to do well enough at Be High for that shit to not matter.
Right.
And that shit panned out. It worked out perfectly. But Berkeley High was a great experience, and the girls absolutely. I probably had the most fun at Be High when it comes to that. Like
right, and plus you was older, and you know what I'm saying, and a little bit.
It's the number. It's just numbers, like sheer numbers, like in that different demographic that you talk about. Like I had never seen that many different types of girls at that point. You know, having gone to like these schools, like you get used to the types of girls that you see. And, like, I get here and I'm like, whoa, skater chicks, drama chicks, music chicks, like girls that don't go to class. Like it's like, well, it's like,
they have the whole
like,
gamut. Yeah,
it's like this is refreshing.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought that Beehive was the mecca. Oh man, goddamn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, shout out
like
Beehive,
it was.
shout out Beehive. I had a great time at Berkeley.
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
So I went to junior college. Started off at CC. I graduated with my AA from CC in sociology, and then I went to Sac State. I went to Sac State for 2 years.
Did you stay out there, or did you?
I lived in Sac. I lived in Sac and made music out of Sacramento for 2 years.
That's lit.
And that's when I sold my first songs while I was up there. I got my first placements while I was up there.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then I said, to hell with school.
Yeah,
I said, exactly. And I said, you know, I'm making a lot more doing this than I am with a social degree.
Right.
And that's no shade to people who went out and got social degrees.
Yeah, not at all.
You know,
yeah.
But
I didn't.
But like,
I stopped at high school.
You know, but look, what I realized, and this is me. I'm 28, so I'm able to think back.
Right.
This is me being able to say that this was the right decision for me.
Yeah.
Going
definitely.
to getting a degree and sitting in an office somewhere, or you know, that wasn't gonna work for me. Mm-hmm. Like what I'm doing now is exactly what I envisioned myself doing 10 years ago, and it's beautiful. It's, you know, can't complain.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's lovely.
You know, work my own hours. You know, like I always felt like when I have kids, and I've decided that I am going to have kids. I don't know when, but when I have kids, and once they're done with high school, I'm gonna sit them down and I'm gonna tell them that these are the most important years of your life. The years immediately after high school are the most important years of your life, because I feel like those are years where you're learning who you really are.
Right, definitely.
You spend all these years with all this structure. People telling you what to do, people telling you where to be, what time. You now you're young and you have endless potential. You want to become a mechanic, you want to become a doctor, you want to become anything that you want to achieve, you can work towards. You know, if you want to become a doctor, go to college.
Right.
If you want to become a plumber, go to trade school. If you want to work on cars, go get an apprenticeship at a car shop. Like, those are the years where you kind of state your claim. And I realized that when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, I was in school, I was playing ball, but I was making music. And I will always find time to make music. Even with school, ball, family responsibilities and priorities, girls, I was still finding time to make music. And I realized that this is it.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. Yeah. This football shit is tight. This football shit is fun, but I'm not going to the NFL. Right? This is where it's at. This music shit is what I want to be doing for the rest of my life.
That's what's up. Bam.
Yeah, like
big mind.
And that was it.
Right. So you got an album that you working on now.
Yeah, that shit comes out next month.
Okay.
Comes out next month. We're looking at March 22nd. No, it ain't gonna be no singles. It ain't gonna be no enormous rollout. We got some nice distribution. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're gonna put this shit out. We're gonna shoot the vids. And what I'm attempting to do is put 3 albums out this year.
Okay.
Really make a claim. You know what I mean? I feel like a nigga dropped 3 albums in the year. You know, that's a statement is what that is. You know what I mean? And I've got the content already. It's just time to like, package it.
Right, and put and actually physically put that shit out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's this album? What's the name of it?
So this album, it's called David Hasselhoff. and it's like a huge ode to like Mac Dre. You know what I mean?
Right.
I actually man, shout out Mac Dre. When I went to El Cerrito is when I got my biggest introduction to Mac Dre. I knew who he was, but I wasn't familiar with all of his work.
Was he still
alive? He died that year.
Yeah, died that year.
The year my freshman year at EC.
Okay.
And man, blown away. So this album coming out in March is like a big shout out to Mac Dre.
Okay.
I got an album coming out a couple months from now, from after March. It'll be called Extra Player.
Okay.
And that it's got like some like singing love jams, love bangers and shit like that.
Shit.
Exactly. And then for the fall, I got an album called Walk on Water coming out.
Okay.
So like, yeah, I'm excited.
Putting that work in.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I got new management, which is cool. And they're very proactive with helping me game plan on the business side. Like
that's what
the business aspect is what I don't understand about the music thing, but I'm learning.
Right.
I'm learning.
That's good.
And yeah, just trying to learn the ins and outs. You know, the ultimate goal for me really is I would love to start a record label, and I would love to put studios like all chained, all connected throughout the Bay Area, and that's like a goal of mine. And it'll be aimed at the independent artist.
Right,
you know
right.
Like,
to more support them. And,
exactly. Yeah. Because that's how I came up. I came up running my own sessions. I came up, recording myself, mixing my own shit, writing my own shit. And I feel like if you can create a bunch of places for artists to do that, you setting the stage, you know?
For sure.
And I don't even think artists realize it, man. You setting yourself up to make some money. Put it up for streamings. Make your shit, put it up for streamings. You know what I mean? Get licensing. Get it in shit. You know what I mean? Like
I always tell people that.
Man.
Like, like if you get it out there, it creates the algorithms around your music. You feel me? So if one person streams it and then immediately they like it and they immediately then stream something else, that then creates a link between you and that other artist in the world of like the ecosystem of the internet and shit. You feel me? So the longer you have music out there, even if you're not pushing it, just having it out there
it'll get heard.
It'll get heard, and it's gonna create them links. It's like those algorithms get created or like there's many times where I'll be like, I'll search myself on these streaming apps, and I always love to see like similar artists. I always love to see that because then that means like whoever is like a bigger artist than me, if I'm connected to that person, that's just good because that means people that are listening to them and they put their shit on shuffle the radio, then I'm gonna pop up somewhere. You feel me?
And they're gonna be like, oh. That feeling when you hear a song, and
like, who is this?
Exactly.
Shazam! Hurry up! What is it?
Exactly.
Hurry up before it turn off, nigga. And I've been discovered like that, and I loved, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen my advice to other artists come to fruition, and that shit. I love when motherfuckers be like, I randomly stumbled across your shit.
It's the most beautiful feeling in the world.
I love that shit, bro.
It's the most beautiful feeling in the world. What's tight? I think the coolest thing is, as an artist, not just as a rapper or a songwriter, but as an artist, is people appreciating your work, but also connecting with the work. Right. And I think the fact that people are listening to what I say, like, it's mind blowing. Yeah. And I don't have 1 million fans, but it's 1 million motherfuckers out here yelling into the mic, hoping people listen.
Right.
And I've got people listening.
Right.
And that shit, to me, man, that shit is tight.
It's one of the best feelings in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to create the songs, put them out, and like have that like accomplished, but it's another thing when you're working on it and you know that somebody's when you click submit, somebody's gonna click to listen to that shit, like, and anticipate you putting it out. Like that's like fuel that will last me for a fucking lifetime. Amen. You feel me? So every time somebody asks me, like, bro, when you putting the album out, that's like, oh, like now it's a two-edged sword for me, because it's like, one thing, it's like,
don't rush me.
No, that's not even that. It's like I'm in the waiting game period right now. Like, the music is done, right? I literally just today got the final mix and masters back. You feel me? I got I'm waiting on my second music video to get edited. Like, I'm right there. You feel me? But it's just, everything's just not done yet. So when people are like, where's the music? It makes me like, oh, like I want you to have it so bad. Just you feel me? But then again, it does, like, it then just adds more fuel. Like, it adds like 5 extra years of me like having the urge to go hop in the studio and shit. You feel me? It's the best fucking feeling ever. So if y'all out there, like, you'll have no idea how much like your support to like independent artists, even big artists, that shit means a lot. You feel me? Like, we do start off making this shit for ourselves, but when we know that people are listening and they like anticipating it and like giving us feedback, right? It's a whole new fucking high. So continue to do so. I'm not even asking for myself or for him, but whatever artist that you're feeling right now, just show that love. Show love.
Consumers, like fans, you guys are the consumers.
Right.
Like, that shit, without y'all, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah, for real.
Like, it's not the other way around. Like, it's not like, oh, fuck the fans, I'm gonna keep making this. No, like y'all listens, y'all streams, y'all support.
All that shit. To this day, bro. This is like my first album that I like put out there to be on streaming sites was Sunshine and Free Living. Came out in 2009. No, I'm lying. 2013. Right? I think I'm off. Anyway, like I don't push that shit because I hate listening to those songs. Like it's old, so it's like I cringe because it's like outdated flows, outdated deliveries and shit, right? But I'll go log on to CD Baby, and I'll see like $100, like from the last 6 months or whatever. Just for like, okay, I could use this shit. You feel me? I gotta pay for a mix and master like that. Yeah. It pays for itself without me even pushing that shit. And that's just because like it's been out there since forever, but I've also been releasing other shit, and because it's creating them algorithms, people still find that shit, or people that were fans of that or those music still listen to them songs or whatever. But them streams, them little cents be adding up.
That's it.
They be adding up.
I love it. I've been using lately DistroKid.
Okay. Yeah,
What's cool about DistroKid is you can monitor those stats across these streaming sites.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's amazing. The cents add up. They add up.
That
shit is phenomenal.
I be forgetting, and I log in like every 6 months and be like, oh, there's like $300 in there. Okay, I can
deposit to bank account. Thank you. There it is. Pay for that break job.
You feel me?
Nah, I understand, bro. Most definitely.
That's like the most set it and forget it thing that I've ever done. Even though I pushed those songs at the time, but I'm not out here pushing my old music. Right. I'm like out here focused on the next thing and like pushing the most like recent singles and shit. Right. I ain't pushing that first little album. That shit still be bringing in dollars though.
That's how it works.
That's crazy, bro.
And wait and watch when you pop.
And nigga.
Right.
And it's gonna be there sitting.
Nigga gonna be like,
right.
How do we miss this?
Right.
That's the most beautiful feeling in the world.
And then I'm gonna hit that ass over the head with the shit I made in 2004. Like
exactly. Like,
classic Beejus. That B Rob, nigga.
Exactly.
My first rap name was B Rob. Yeah, look, you want to go to rap?
First rap names.
Here, I'll go through mine first. I'll
do it. I came prepared to talk. I came prepared to embarrass myself, so it's lit.
All right, so look, mine was
first rap names. It's lit.
B Rob, because I'm Brandon Robinson,
which isn't bad.
It's not bad at all.
Bad.
But I was very new to this shit, and one person told me, "Dan, that's kind of like very common." Like he kind of was a negative. I was like, oh, that ain't gonna work. Nope, that ain't gonna work.
There's always one.
And then I had Hyph B. Okay, don't ask me what it meant. Okay. I don't fucking know. Most of my shit is hella random. I was running with that for a second, and then the hyphy movement really popped, and that was when I started like performing at open mics.
Right.
The host was like, "Yeah, next to the stage, Hyphy B." I said, "Whoa."
That
ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. I can't live off of this shit. I know this shit ain't gonna last that long.
Good foresight.
Right. So then, during this time, I saw Dave Chappelle's Block Party.
Okay.
Right. And that shit inspired me.
Big
film. That shit
bro.
inspired me. I was like, I need to talk about better shit. Like my substance ain't here. Like I want to be able to be able. Like I want to still be able to be played in the clubs, but I want to be able to perform at an event like this.
Right.
So I was like, I gotta have my shit come with more substance. So then I was like, maybe I should just like become like kind of like a conscious rapper. Like I was leaning towards there. So I was looking around for these like dope meaning names. This is the worst shit ever, nigga. so then I went with Pete Truth, which meant plausible truth.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. If you serving like straight hip hop, like then it works.
Boom bap shit.
Then it works exactly.
For sure,
then it works.
Sure.
You know
I for sure would have been
if you're like on some black empowerment, like you feel me? Then that shit work. Then it works.
But that's far from me, my nigga. So I went with that, but luckily I never put out a song when I had that. So there's no songs out there that exist under Pete Truth.
There's an asterisk next to it.
Right, exactly. Got it. There's songs that exist under B Rob. There's songs that exist under Hyph B. There's no song that exists under Pete Truth, and I'm so glad.
Oh, man, small blessings.
Right, but then the next one was Beejus, and I've been rocking with that shit ever since.
I was gonna say that's
Right. Yeah.
Perfect.
It took me a minute, but I got it though.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, how did it come to you though?
So it came to me. I'm now in the point where P Truth ain't gonna work because this shit is like, I was inspired by that movie. That was 6 months ago. I ain't inspired by that shit no more. You feel me? So I'm searching around for names, and one of my partners, shout out to T-Rail. He would, when he's, I'm Brandon, people call me B for short. Right. He would greet me as Beejus. Right. Just on some random shit. Like, he would just greet me with that. He wouldn't call me that or nothing. He would just, he would greet me by it. And like, I heard one day, like, I'm like thinking about, like, I need a name all week. And then he says, I'm like,
there it is.
That actually works.
There it is.
Beejus. Okay, that works. Yeah, so it came from him.
That's where names come from.
Yeah.
They come from other people. This is what I learned.
Right.
Anytime I named myself, it was no good. White Dave was not something that I came up with.
Okay, I need
not at all.
Yeah, we got to go through the timeline.
So my first rap name ever was Coog Star.
Coog Star.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was sold. I was like, yeah, this shit gonna pop. This shit gonna go crazy. Because my last name is Coogler and I'm a star. Like, it's obvious. It's perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Then dropped a couple joints and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't sound cool enough, right?
Okay.
So then I was like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do. And by this time, I'm like maybe 13, maybe, I'm like, young man. Right? Because young is popping. You feel me? Young at the time was popping, and I'm a young man. So man, but with two ends though. You feel me? So it's like, and I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was lit. Like, not a look. So I'm like, nah, that shit don't work neither. Fuck.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm like, back to the drawing board. Then I was Coogie B.
Hey, that ain't bad though.
Right?
Cookie B.
Right? I was like, okay. I was like, this not.
I'm about to change your name in my phone to Cookie B. It's good.
It's good. I'm like, okay, that's not bad, right? I'm like, that's not bad. But then I started thinking, will it age well? Do I want motherfuckers calling me this when I'm 40? You feel me? Like, at the time I'm thinking long term, And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So that sounds
like a pimp, old school slick back pimp though. I ain't gonna lie.
And that's
Cookie B.
Talking about pimp needs hoes. I was never a pimp. Just kidding. I was never a pimp. But I was at the time talking about freaking on some little freakies, some little,
some little hot
little freakies, little honey dips as I used to call them back in the day, And then that shit, Cookie B was tight. It was cool, but it didn't last. All the way until high school, I was like, okay, Cookie B, I gotta retire this shit at some point.
Right, okay.
And then I was talking to Big Bro. My older brother gave me a rap name.
Okay.
I was talking to Big Bro, and he was like, yeah, man. He was like, with the rap name, bro, there's got to be something. It's got to be something that flow, but it's also wouldn't mind it being a conversation starter. He was like, a good rap name always is a conversation starter, unless your name is just plain. Right. You feel me? And I was like, okay. And so he was just kind of, kicking ideas around. And he was like, White Dave. And I was like, White Dave? He was like, man. And it stems from back in high school, once again, that high school trauma resurfacing. Right? Man, I faced a lot of criticism, bro, for the way I talk. Right.
Call you white boy.
Oh, man.
Same thing. I had that same shit.
Man, right. Yeah. And it never affected me. Like my psyche never was like that's not the traumatic part for me. The traumatic part is having to defend my blackness, as you would call it, or my hoodness, as you would call it. Like, I got into a lot of fights as a result of people testing my manhood, simply because this is how I talk. Like, I went to St. I don't know if you know where St. Leo's is, but I went to St. Leo's for elementary school. Okay. And nigga, English. We had English class, and niggas was strict. Like,
it wasn't letting you talk.
Oh no, none of that shit. And so I used to get into a lot of scuffles as a result of that. That was the common cause, and motherfuckers would be like, oh, you ain't really from the rich. Oh, you ain't really, you soft. You're not really XYZ.
Right. I hate that shit. I hated that shit so fucking much, bro.
Because
God damn.
I'm not a problematic cat. Like, I'm cool with everybody.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's always one. There's always one cat who has to, you know what I mean? But then Dave is just my middle name. Like that's my middle name is David, and at first I was like, and then I said, you know what? I fuck with it because people are gonna ask me. They're gonna ask me, well, why? But you're black, and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's the typical. It's like I'm taking the hood nerd trope and like really putting my thumb on the nose of it. It's like an obvious ode to a characteristic of mine. You know what I mean? And it's tight because like niggas don't know what I look like. Like I don't have a super big online persona like that, like, follower wise anyway. But you read comments and motherfuckers are like, whoa, like, like okay, well, I mean, they motherfuckers go, I assumed he was black because he's saying nigga in his songs. Right. Now I'm seeing it and I'm like, whoa, like, okay,
Right.
And
And then when you was taking the pictures with Ryan, bro,
man, yo,
that shit was genius. That fucking picture set, bro.
Yo.
I went crazy on Reddit too.
When I tell you, motherfuckers are like, wait, this is brilliant, and I'm like, it's not brilliant. We're just stating a fact. Right? We're not stating. My fucking rap name is White Dave, and he's not White Dave. Right. On more than one occasion, that's why we got the shirts made. Because on more than one occasion, motherfuckers will run up to Ryan Man like, yo, like you're tight as fuck, man, White Dave, yeah. And Ryan Man's like, that is not.
That's hilarious, bro.
That shit went crazy though, man. But that's where White Dave came from, and honestly, I applied it and it stuck. It resonated with people.
Right.
Motherfuckers, but definitely questioned it. What? Good. Now I'm on your mind.
Right.
What more would you like to know?
Right.
And now at this point in my career, man, shit.
It's a dope name. I'm trying to even think. I cannot remember the first time that I heard your name. I'm trying to think of what it was. I know the first time we met was at that Fresh Steps at Lucas.
Yes.
And it was surrounding them, and I want to say it has to do with like around Cliff.
Oh man, I've been making music with Cliff, bro,
for how long?
For like a decade now. Keep it real.
Yeah.
Man, Cliff was recording with me when I had the USB mic. So over a decade, because I had the USB mic when I was like 16, 17. Now Cliff is a childhood friend of my big brother.
Right.
Yeah, and so Cliff has basically known me all my life.
Okay.
Which is, and we've been building together for years.
Man. Me and Cliff got a couple songs together from hella long ago.
Yeah. So
the Oakland Girls and shit. We got a couple. That's me on that song, nigga.
God, that's right. That's right.
Crazy,
Fuck,
right?
That's right.
Crazy.
God damn it.
Crazy, bro. That was like the beginning of like all of this shit. Because we had started. So shout out to Vel Taylor. Mm-hmm. He had this grand idea.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, he had this grand idea to start a like collective of artists where everybody supports each other. Everybody has their own, but it's not just artists in the sense of just music. Like we had journalists, we had party promoters. Anything that you could do, whatever your art was, we will be a part of this collective. And we would support each other, you know what I'm saying, like a fraternity in a sense, but it had women too, so it wasn't just a fraternity. But we call it OLA. It was Oakland League of the Artists, right? So we all came together.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. We all came together to start this thing. Everything fizzled out eventually. But during those times, I was like, that was a major moment because a lot of people that are doing a lot of great things right now, like we all had to come together, and so Cliff was a part of that little collective as well at that time. So like me, Vel, Cliff, we was really really rocking hella tough with the music shit. It was good times, man. And that's and Oakland Girls came from that. That's like connection.
It actually takes me back, bro.
Yeah,
because man, I was just talking to Cliff about old music and he was telling me that he wanted to re-release Toast.
Wow, he should. He fucking should.
When he watches the episode,
Cliff, do it. He definitely should.
Yeah, man. Man. Shout out Cliff, man. We've been rocking, man.
Cliff Solo.
We've been rocking for years, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy. It's so like. It's crazy, like, okay, the Bay is small. Like, that's a cliche thing to say, but it's, like, I don't even know what my point is because I can't even, like, formulate it. But what's crazy to me is just seeing all these connections. Like, I would hear Cliff like he would tell me about Ryan back in those days. He'd be like, bro, I got this, one of my like closest friends is like doing this film thing, and like he's fucking dope as shit.
Right.
And then like maybe about 4 years later, Fruitvale Station comes out, and I didn't even put those two together.
Right.
And I remember like, this is who Cliff was telling me about. Like, nigga, you feel me? Like, it is so crazy like that you're his brother, and like it all, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Man.
it's just crazy how all these little things, like, what I can say, the point that I can make is the old saying of you never know what bridge you can burn. So always 100%. Treat everybody you meet with the utmost respect, you know what I'm saying, and leave a lasting impression on them, because you just never know when these connections will be made. Because I didn't meet you through Cliff.
Exactly.
You feel me? We met through a whole separate collective of fucking people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like it's all full circle. Like it's just crazy how shit like that happens, you know?
Even saying the Bay is small is misstating it. Like, the Bay is this fucking big.
Yeah. It's a pinhole for sure.
I think of it this way. Like, Trey Coastal, you're familiar with Trey Coastal, right?
Of course. Shout out to the bros.
So I didn't like formally meet Phil until not recently, but I'd say maybe 3-4 years ago. But we went to Berkeley High together. You know what I mean? I met Ryman at O'Dowd when I went to O'Dowd that year, 1 year. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And it's like, and I just recently met Cam, but I'm gonna tell you what, I've heard of Cam because he used to hang out with one of my close friends, and it's like, damn, like
it's crazy. It's so fucking
literally
crazy.
That fucking
it's
big.
It's so crazy,
like,
bro.
And it always makes me laugh, and this is not entirely off topic, but it always makes me laugh because I spent a good amount of time in Atlanta a couple years ago.
Okay.
And out there, they think that L.A. and the Bay are like right next door.
Right. Yeah. They think all of California's big ass state is all one city.
It's like
it's Hollywood, nigga.
Yeah, and
Oakland down the street from this Hollywood sign, right?
And I'm like, no, like nah, like there's a million cities in between these two places.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same time, I say that to say like it's still this big.
So small.
I've run into people in LA from the Bay. I've met people in LA and like through an artist friend, and they're like, oh, but I'm from Oakland or I'm from Berkeley, and it's like, damn, like literally this fucking big, you know what I mean? And especially in the pool that we're in, you know, as artists, as creatives, as fucking rappers, you know what I mean? Like, that shit.
Bro, I went to Thailand and I saw a nigga with a Hyro tattoo. He wasn't from the Bay, but he had a Hyro tattoo. I met a girl who just recently, like, she was a gentrifier in Oakland. I met her in Thailand.
Yeah.
We was in Japan. We saw a nigga walking by with a motherfucking San Francisco Giants hat. We like shot like, bro, what's up, my nigga? Like, I said, hey, go Giants. You mean? But I'm an A's fan. And we made a connection. It ended up that one of my homies, like it just was a coincidence. I saw one of my homies who does video. His name's Nelson. He does video. I saw that he was in Japan at the same time as me. I was like, oh, damn, that's what's up. Right. On a completely random day, we see a nigga walk by with a Giants hat. It just so happened that they're there together doing some video for Boss.
There it is. Fucking J. Cole's artist?
Exactly.
Go crazy.
It's like.
Go crazy.
Bro, the Bay is everywhere, bro. Yeah, every fucking where.
That shit.
It's crazy.
It's another story. My brother, my sister, and my mom, my grandmother were hanging out in Africa.
Okay.
Fucking Africa.
Wow.
And bumped into one of my brother's classmates and Cliff's classmates from 8th grade in the middle of Africa.
Wow.
And I'm like, if that's not freaky, I don't know what is. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I don't know what is. But yeah. That shit was
do you know if bro was living out there or he was just like out there on some fluke shit?
Just out there on just visiting. Just fucking hey.
Like we can't escape you, nigga.
Like, goddamn. Africa. Look who I ran into. It's like fucking wild. It's like, goddamn. That shit's crazy.
Fuck, bro.
That shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, bro. You done any traveling? You been out the country before?
I've been out the country one time, and I went to London, and it was fun. It was great. Don't get me wrong, but the biggest thing for me was I smoke. Like I'm not gonna say I smoke like Wiz Khalifa levels.
Right.
You know, I'm like a consistent smoker, and so I was sober most of the trip, and it just made me appreciate traveling. It made me appreciate just being like out of the States. And one thing that I did notice, and I said that I was kind of hyper vigilant, just hyper aware, you know what I mean? Right. But where we were staying in London, we were staying in a nice part of London, but I didn't feel like I was black, if that makes sense. Like I didn't feel like niggas was like, you feel me? Like it's hard to explain to like a non-black person what it feels to be black, like out and about.
Right.
But I didn't feel it when I was in London.
So in what way though? Like would you mean like when you would see another black person, it was you already had that nod?
What's crazy is black people out there, which is crazy. For sure, and of course my minded thinking, you know, of course there are black people out there, but because I hadn't seen it didn't. You know, it didn't. Yeah. And so that was the first thing, like hearing a London accent, from a nigga, coming out of a nigga. I'm like, bro, like this is crazy. But like, there's a feeling that you get when you're walking through Safeway, and there are a bunch of white people in the aisle, and they see you walking down the aisle. There's a feeling that you get, right?
Right, definitely.
I didn't encounter that feeling in London.
Got you. Yes. Yeah.
It was a little bit more accepting.
Man, yeah. See, I thought you was meaning something else, but now, I follow.
Like I definitely still feel like a nigga. Like that won't ever change. But it was just a different energy, a different feeling.
Because they don't look. Because race is not the same exact thing. Like racial disparity exists everywhere in the world.
Exactly.
But it's not looked at as the same. Like to me, I feel like. And I don't want to go on a tangent because I want to make sure you feel like you still talk about your trip. But I feel like race out here is looked at like a religion. Like people, race is a religion. And I always tell people I don't subscribe to the religion of race. So like when you tell me that I should be living my life because of this and because that you view something like this, that's not how I live. I date how I want to date. I live how I live. I eat what I eat. I listen to what I listen. I dance how I dance. Like it has nothing to do with the religion of my race. You feel me? So
exactly.
But yeah, I don't mean to go on a tangent for you.
I like what you said there because you're absolutely right.
Right.
Here in America, there's this tension, and it's race relations.
Right.
Like, and it's other things too, but it's race relations. Like, when I'm in a white neighborhood, I don't feel safe.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable.
Right.
I feel like I'm being looked at. I feel like I'm being judged.
I feel like you're getting the police calling on you now.
Yeah, I feel like people are afraid of me.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And I'm admitting this on fucking live on air. Like I will conceal and tailor my own blackness just to make white people comfortable.
Right, yeah.
Especially in the business that I'm in. Especially in this business, right? And I shouldn't have to.
Most definitely.
I shouldn't have to. While I was in London, I felt like I could let my guard down a little bit. You know.
Right.
Now granted, my cousin just went traveling. She went to London and she had a terrible experience. She went there with her fiance and had a terrible experience. He's African. She's black, but
it was like a surrounding around race out there.
Yeah, she felt that they weren't being treated fairly at all.
Wow.
Now, granted, we stayed in different parts of London. Right. But
that's been my experience too, though. Like I did, like like you said, you didn't feel black. You know what I'm saying? The couple of times I've only gone to Thailand and Japan. You feel me? But each time, and like Japan is one thing. It's like I was only dealing with like other Japanese people out there, and the only time that I ever noticed anything like different, it's not a negative thing, but I just noticed that they noticed something different was when I went with my daughter, and people would they would do a double like take at her,
right?
And I don't think it was in a negative sense. I think it would just be her hair.
Right.
I think it was. I literally
like,
think
whoa,
it was literally just her hair right there. But it wasn't anything like. I definitely didn't get no feel like they was double taking in a bad way. Like, look at this little African girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing that, but like. I think it was just because she had the like kind of like box braids. You feel me?
Word.
So it's just like the braids that were just a little bit longer. I'm just taking a guess.
Right.
But I didn't get that vibe that it was like, you know,
it
what these
wasn't
nigger kids doing over here. Right. It wasn't. It was just kind of like, oh, like she's different, you know, or like they're different or whatever.
Exactly. That I can appreciate. I'll appreciate a black face. Cool.
Right.
You feel me?
It's
As opposed to a whoa, keep your eyes on this nigga. Like, you know.
Right, because what's he gonna do?
You can feel. I feel like we as black people have a sixth sense, and we can kind of determine how people feel about our presence.
We have to, because it's like, you know, we're survivors.
We have to be aware.
We have to be aware.
We have to be alert.
Survival instinct.
You know, exactly.
It's a human form thing.
Exactly.
Right.
And when I go into an environment, like I realize that I can't get too upset.
Mm-hmm.
As a black man, I realize I can't get too upset. I can't let my emotions show.
Right.
If something makes me upset, I have to maintain my composure until I get into an environment where I can express myself the way I feel. Mm-hmm. And so that's part of that experience. That's part of that, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that way
when you was over there.
When I was over there. Yeah. I felt a little bit of relief, you know?
Right.
But I can't speak for everybody's experience.
Definitely, because everybody has different
because everybody has a different experience,
right.
You know?
Yeah. You know, one thing, like, I used to be really, like, anxious about things like that, too. It's like, okay, I can see that they looking at me. They might be looking, you know, and it will make me kind of, like, downplay. Right. But I'm already a very polite person. I'm already, like, a very personal person. No matter who it is, I could be your best friend. You feel me? And so one thing that I really get off on, like I love doing, my full ass grill. And then I fucking love just being because before, like, if somebody was to see me and I would like think, okay, they looking at me, I got the grill in, I got my black hoodie on, they think I'm a thug. And it would like make me not even want to interact with them. Right. You feel me? That's what it would do. Like I would suppress myself to the point where I don't even want to even go over there and talk to that person. Now I got the opposite effect where it's like grill shining. Right. I might have my black hoodie on, whatever. Right. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like I love being able to be like the most
catch them off guard.
Oh, I love that shit.
Catch them off guard.
I love that shit, bro. I love that shit. So like, you know, like when I first went to Thailand, I didn't have grill. I'm going back in April. Right. I'm going full slugged up.
Full out.
Slugged up. I'm about to blow them motherfuckers' minds. When I was out there the first time, I don't know if you know the homie Osagi. Osagi the Great. You ever met him? He's actually from Richmond too, but he's a fucking legend.
Okay,
so he had met me out there for a short amount of time, and he had bottoms in, I think, at the time. And you know, like nobody made a big deal about it, but like some of the people that I was kicking it with on the island, and then he came and like was a part of the crew because he came a little bit later. Right. Like people was talking to like, you got grilling, like they thought it was such a fascinating thing. Like I can't wait to be full slugged up out there, bro. I can't wait to, you know what I'm saying? Because like,
I need to do more traveling.
These motherfuckers they have a perception of this shit, and I can't wait to just be myself, to be like, oh wait, this dude is normal. Right. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not a thug, he's not whatever. He's just a normal dude. He's black. He might dress like that because he comes from an area. He got the grill in, but he's just a fucking normal dude.
You said it though, perception. You said it. For some people, that's everything.
Yeah.
For
definitely.
Some people, perception is as good as fact.
Right.
It's as good as the truth. It's as good as the word of God.
Man.
Like, and that's dangerous.
1,000%.
That's the most dangerous thing that there is.
Right.
Because you perceive somebody to be a threat, and you take preventative measures. We don't know what that includes. Right. And it's usually not beneficial for us, people that look like us.
Right.
You know? Right. And that's the fucked up part.
That's the fucked up part.
You know.
And you know, that's what's crazy. Like I don't even think, like, I'm an optimistic nigga, but like I don't think that any of this shit's ever gonna fucking change here. You know what I'm saying? Unless the powers switch.
It won't. But it won't. Even if the powers switch, the thing about America, you got to look at what this place was founded on. Violence.
Yeah. On the
rape.
Same shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, like violence and rape. Like it's what a lot of people don't realize is the niggas that came over here with Columbus, they weren't stand-up citizens.
Right.
These were the fucking rejects. These were niggas that they didn't want. They didn't. Please go on this voyage. We hope y'all fucking boat crash. Please get the fuck on.
Don't make it back.
And them niggas landed here, bruh, and there's no way that we could find peace on a place that was taken like this.
Right,
like there's no way. Not for niggas.
Yeah.
White folks can find all the peace they want.
Right.
You know when they're done listening to our problems, they turn their fucking hearing aids off. They turn the sound off. They mute us. They don't give a fuck about what's going on with us.
Right.
As long as they good, you know. And so a place like that, we won't ever be free here.
Yeah.
Ever. And the fucked up part about being African American is there's no place that we can go.
Right.
That's the thing about being specifically African American.
Yeah.
We were born in a place that doesn't want us.
Right.
You know, born in a place that all we are is an image of what white people did to us.
Right. It's crazy.
That's all niggas are.
That's all. That is our legacy is like the most tarnished shit ever. Ever. You know.
For African Americans, where does our history start?
I mean, it
fucking
starts
with slavery.
Yeah.
Like a lot of black people say that's not where our history starts, but for African Americans, unfortunately, it is.
Right.
Like, yes, you trace our roots. You trace our ancestors who were taken from West Africa. You know, yes, you trace that, you know. But that shit, man.
You know, one thing that happened to me when I was in Japan the first time, and this shit, like, it blew my fucking mind. It kind of just made me realize it's like on a world view on some black people, like African American shit. So there's a heavy Nigerian population in Japan, right? And they're like, you know, no, I'm good. Yeah, I drank mine, but I got some still in the shit. It's a heavy population of them out there, and they're like, a lot of them will be like hanging around what they call this one district, Roppongi. Right, and it's like one of like club districts and shit. Right. And from my research, I've heard that a lot of them niggas be out there scamming. You feel me? So I come, it has nothing to do with race, but it's like, nigga, I know about Thailand. Like, you don't fuck with the tuk-tuks, right? Because the tuk-tuks will scam you. It has nothing to do with it, but some people will scam you. You feel me? So you just gotta have your wits about yourself.
That's what it is.
You feel me? So I know what it is. Yeah. But I'm from Oakland. You can't scam my Oakland. Nigga,
exactly.
So nigga, we are out there, and one of the guys comes up and it's like, I forgot what he was trying to get us to get. I was like, nah, we cool. But he kept talking. Like, once I know that, we cool, like, bro, I can see, nigga, I've grown up with niggas that be scamming, like that be trying to like finesse you out of your shit.
I see what you're up to.
I see what you're up to. Yeah. So I told him straight up, like, no, we're done. Like, it's cool, brother. You can't scam a scammer is what I told him. Guess what he called me though? A slave. So this is somebody from Africa that's in another country. He's probably never been to America. He called me a slave
because he knows.
And like it didn't hurt me. I didn't get offended.
You better than me, bro.
No.
I would have caught a fucking case in Thailand.
No. This is Japan.
Japan.
But you wouldn't have, because it's the same mentality as in McClymonds. I'm in a completely new place.
You're right.
And this nigga got hell of his niggas out here. Don't give a fuck about me or my partners. You feel me? But what it did is it took my worldview and just expanded it. I was like, that's how they see us. And what it did, it made me rewind my thinking a little bit.
That's
worse than be calling nigga.
That's even worse.
Bruh, man, that's bad. It's bad. But what it did though, then it rewinded the times for me, because I got an African partner, right? He's Eritrean. He grew up here. We got a big Eritrean population up here, right? Got a bunch of like African partners. Like, I know I'm not supposed to like differentiate, but there's a fucking difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a fucking difference.
For sure.
But I got a lot of African partners. But at the time, this was when I was younger, and we would like frequent the clubs and shit. We would always go to like reggae clubs and shit. Right. And I noticed that a lot of like Africans would look down and wouldn't fuck with a lot of like black people. And I noticed that. You feel me? It wasn't anything that was like a topic of discussion, but I noticed that. So when homie called me that, not only did my worldview expand, but then it made me realize like I see. You feel me?
I see.
Like it's crazy. It's like it's damn near like we, as a black man, you're not safe anywhere, bro.
Anywhere.
And it's sad to say, but
on a world scale and in your own city.
In your own fucking city.
In your own city.
In your own block.
Yeah. And that imagine what that does to the mind of a black man, of a black boy, really.
Right.
You feel me? Like, man.
You see that Project Papa album cover? Where it's like him in the middle, got a nigga on the side with the
exactly what you're talking about.
The police. That is like one of the most genius album covers ever. That needs to be like
in the Smithsonian, damn near.
Exactly.
It's super relevant. It's
super relevant.
And it's an unfortunate reality, but it's also what makes black people so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like it specifically, and I'm not dissing like black people all over the planet, but specifically African Americans. There's something about us and what we do that is fascinating to everyone. And it's because we're still connected. We're still connected to the motherland.
Right.
We're still connected. Like Big Bro spent a lot of time in Africa. Like and he came back and he told me a lot of stories. And he said that when they hang out, he spends a lot of time like amongst the natives. And when they hang out, it's just like when we hang out back home, when black people get together back home. We don't know. We have no connection to Africa.
Right.
Like that was deliberate to sever our connection to Africa.
Right.
And yet we party the same, cook the same, dance the same, eat the same. Like nigga, that shit is and that shit is amazing. That shit is remarkable. There's still a connection there. We're still connected to a land that doesn't necessarily embrace us or run us, Right. So we've got our own shit here. But at the same time,
it's so crazy to just even think about shit like that. Cause like when you listen to like your history teachers or whatever, and they talk about how like or civilization of people were just like wiped out thousands of years ago or whatever. You hear about like how some like the king. You even watch like some cartoons. Like I'm thinking of like The Emperor's New Groove. You feel me? Like that Disney movie where it's like they're in the kingdom, but then they got, or even Aladdin. It's like they're in the kingdom, but then you got the peasants that are outside, and it's like you just hear about this like distant civilization or type of shit that happened years ago, but it's like we are still living in the effects. Like we're still in the effects of like this history getting written. You feel me? It's like thousands of years ago, like the Romans took out the one. They had them as slaves, and then that shit is done. But it's like we're still like living those times. When
going through it right now.
If you kind of like just like take yourself out of yourself and just kind of like do a bird's eye view. It's like, damn, like this is what they be talking about. Like, we're feeling the effects because we're still alive. We're feeling the effects of like a yesteryear's like traditions of how you supposed to like treat people, and it's fucking crazy, bro.
All history does is do this.
Right.
That's all. That's all it does. That's all it does. And the social climate feels a lot like, or I can't say feels a lot like, but it seems a lot like 60s.
Right now.
Feels, I can't say it feels because I didn't experience it, but it seems and it reads like it. You got professional athletes taking stances. You still got niggas getting shot in the streets. Nothing happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got the media pushing their agenda. Look at our fucking president.
Right.
It's this shit seems very familiar. But one thing that I've learned is shit has to go bad before it gets good. So we needed a revolution. This is the makings of one. This is the beginning. This is how revolutions start. It has to, for a revolution to happen, it has to get that bad. Revolutions don't come from, oh, this was mildly uncomfortable, so let's.
I got a bunch of first world problems and shit. Yeah, right. It needs to I feel
exactly. You. Revolutions come from the fucking pit. They come from the gutter. Like they come from deep within. Mm-hmm. From suffering. It comes from anguish. It comes from despair.
Right.
And that's what we're experiencing. And that's why a lot of people. I talk about politics a lot, and I know I shouldn't, but I do. I have a theory. I think that Trump might get a second term, and a lot of people call me crazy for that. Mm-hmm. And I say, you guys have to remember that it's not just racist people voting for Trump. People think that it's just racist people voting for Trump. That's not the case. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. Rich motherfuckers voting for Trump too.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of rich motherfuckers who put their money before their morals.
Yeah, definitely.
They don't give a fuck what Trump doing. It's not directly affecting them. Right. One thing's for sure. Putting Trump in office means I get to keep 20 M's, 30 M's.
My bottom line stays okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Whatever blowback I get from that, so be it. You feel me?
Right.
It's just like, and I'll give you an example of it. The NFL in the Kaepernick settlement. Mm-hmm. There's your evidence. We know we fucked up. We know we fucked up. Here's his money, an undisclosed amount. Mm-hmm. I want to see him on a team. I want to see him on a team.
I want to see him on a team and still kneel though. If he get the M's, on a team and then still kneel,
he the realest nigga of all time.
But now, do you think if he gets on a team,
they won't allow it? They won't let it happen.
And he doesn't kneel? Do you think that he got paid out to not? Do you think that?
I think his point is made. I think even because I'm a Cap fan, because I'm a football fan, I want to see Cap play. And if Cap has to not kneel to play, then nigga don't kneel. You made your point. Your point has been made. But at the same time, on the flip, double-edged sword, he was bought out. And I don't think Cap has a price tag though. I think if and when Cap signs somewhere, I think it'll be in his contract. I'm kneeling before the games.
I would hope so, right?
It almost has to be,
right? Because
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
What if he does? Because I know I've heard talks about him getting signed to the Patriots, right? Like well, that's what people are saying, right?
Honestly, that would be a look,
bro. What if he gets signed to the Patriots, still kneels, got the money, and wins a Super Bowl?
Niggas will have to. Can I tell you something? Niggas will eat their words.
Yeah, he'll be the greatest, like next to Ali. And I'm still in this idea. I was listening to the Brilliant Idiots, and they was talking about the only thing really separating him from being a great, in terms of how Ali is Ali went. He did 3 years in prison because he didn't go to the Vietnam War, but he came back and won the championship. And they say that's one of the reasons why people of course Ali was beating ass. He was the greatest to do it, but he was legacy wise.
That moment in particular was
put him to literally the GOAT. You feel me?
Yeah.
So if Kaepernick, if it does happen when he comes back, still kneels,
man,
and then goes and wins a pay.
I'll pass the fuck out.
Right.
I'll pass the fuck out. I swear to God.
I swear to God, if Cap, I'm not a fan of football. I fuck with football, but I'm just I was indifferent about protesting because I didn't watch it anyway.
Right.
Didn't matter. Right.
Right.
But if Cap goes to the Patriots, I'm gonna be a Patriots fan, man. Just for that year. Now, if he don't get the ball, then I'll, I'm gonna just go back to being,
I would.
I'm wearing a jersey.
I'm getting, because you want to know why? Can I tell you? The Patriots. Shit. Everybody says that I'm a football fan.
Right.
I did not boycott the NFL. I did not. I didn't watch every single game, but I watched a lot of them.
Right. You're a fan.
I stand with Cap, but
right.
I got niggas in the league. I'm, I got niggas who that's where their paycheck come from. That's how they feed their kids.
Right.
If Cap won a Super Bowl, bro, it would be inspirational. But not only that, a lot of people refer to Dallas Cowboys as America's team when it's true, but it's not true. The Patriots are America's team. And Tom Brady is the picture of success.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And if them niggas were to sign Cap and win a Super Bowl, bro,
that would be crazy.
I would I would lose my mind, bro. I would lose my mind.
How many niggas you think will become Patriots fans, bro?
I'm Patriots fan. What? Nigga, I'm saying it. Hey, Robert Kraft getting arrested. Did you hear Robert getting busted? I'm already a fan. My nigga really living. What? I'm already a fan of the Patriots. I'm a fan of the Patriots. Didn't even know it.
He was at the low brothel though, nigga. He was at the swamps, nigga.
He was at the. How did he walk up in there with nobody noticing him?
I don't know, bro. That's
he must have had a disguise on.
He had to, bro.
Hey, shout out Robert Kraft.
That is hilarious. I heard that shit. I was crying laughing.
He was all for getting Meek Mill out of prison, bro. Mm-hmm. I don't care what type of. That's some real nigga shit. Like, I don't know what he doing in his personal time, but for him to be on that campaign, bro, because he got a lot. He has a lot on his image. Like his. I don't give a fuck what Robert Kraft do in his downtime. That's that nigga's business.
Right.
But for him to put himself out there for Meek Mill like that, bro, is significant because he's got white colleagues. Like, he's got white colleagues. Like, he's got white friends. He's got white homies. And for him to do that shit for a nigga, bro, like, that's... People don't realize that the civil rights movement progressed the way it did was thanks to white people. There were a lot of white people who were involved in the civil rights movement, and it wouldn't have gotten to what it is without them. And that's what a lot of white folks got to realize. Like if you niggas really want to help, you got to get on the front lines with us.
You got to be an ally, a real ally.
A real
Not even just an ally, you got to be a warrior too.
Exactly. Almost even more than us. Yeah. Because white folks, here's the thing about white folks. White folks will listen to another white folk, to another white person.
Right.
Like they'll take the time out to listen to what Jim has to say. You feel me? They ain't taking the time to listen to Jamal. Like, right. You know, that perception. I perceive Jamal as not having anything to offer me. Nothing that he has to say is beneficial. Jim, who's a white male like myself, you know, he probably has some advice that he can bestow upon me. That'll do me some good.
Right.
That's how white people operate, man. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, they got, like you said, a warrior, even more than an ally. Have to be a warrior, bro. Like 100%.
All right, I got a question for you. This is it's a staple question of the Awkward Convos with Beejus podcast. I haven't asked in a long time.
I'm ready.
How many 3-year-olds you think it's gonna take to beat you up in a fight? A real fight though. You really knocking these little niggas out, and they really coming for your helmet.
3-year-olds.
3-year-olds. How many do you think it's gonna take?
I'm trying to think like a 3-year-old. Can they walk? Like a 3-year-old.
3-year-olds
right?
walking, they talking, they shitting, they pissing, they potty trained at that point. They eating on their own.
Oh shit. Okay, do they have weapons? Do they have
no weapons? It's no weapons.
They just mobbing on me.
Straight up. But you're really fighting.
I'm really
fighting them, and they really coming at you. They really coming for you. How many you think it's gonna take?
I'm picturing myself like
blah blah blah. Like it don't be a minute.
Yeah. like full around.
That nigga came in swinging. All that shit.
But I'm thinking
realistically,
myself.
Right.
Because
you don't want to be tired.
In all actuality, it'll probably take about 250 3-year-olds. It'll probably take about 250 because at some point I'm gonna get tired. At some point I'm gonna get tired. Dispersing that amount of energy, like, because you gotta knock them out to keep them from coming after you.
Exactly.
You know, you can't just push them over.
Right.
Nah,
you gotta knock their little asses out. You gotta start breaking necks, snapping necks. Boo boo.
See, I'm going for one-hit KOs. If I gotta throw two, 3 punches, then I'm gonna get tired quicker. You know.
Yeah.
I gotta just P station.
You know what's crazy is I used to ask that question. I was like, in the beginning of this podcast, I would ask that a lot. And the reason why we came up with this question in the most organic way was a bunch of us in the living room at the time.
Okay.
We was all high as fuck.
Absolutely.
Playing UFC. All right, so we playing UFC. We playing the Xbox game. Oops is here with his son, who his son at the time was 3 years old.
Okay.
So 2 of the homies is playing each other UFC. I'm over here play wrestling with Lil Oops. And I was like, I'm like pushing him around. He pushing me. I'm just like, the fake power bomb on the couch and shit. I'm like, Hey, right. Hey, how many of these little niggas you think it's gonna take? And it was like, maybe about 4 or 5 of us in the room. No, nigga, no, like big ass discussions. It's like a 2-hour discussion about how many of these little niggas you would think it would take to beat us up in a fight. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect podcast question. Yeah, but I haven't asked the question since I started doing Muay Thai. So my first answer was 75, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna instinctively just start punching these little niggas, right? But it's like,
now how are they coming? Like, is it 75 all at once, or are they coming in waves? You feel me? Because the way I see it, the way I pictured it is, if I got 253-year-old, I can frog splash and take out at least 20 of them.
Right, exactly, right. And they're gonna be crying like, they're gonna be out of commission for a minute.
You feel me? But that's if they come in like big numbers. If they just come in 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 3 at a time.
I say how many okay, you have it's a contest.
I'm in a ring,
so you betting like, okay, how many do you think it's gonna take? Because you're gonna take that number up as high as you can, and then you're gonna press enter, and they all gonna drop at the same time. So you in the room with 253-year-olds. You think you're gonna get through them all?
Yeah, not 250. Not 250.
But 1 at a time, you think you can take 250?
Not even that. That's a lot of punches. And you got to make sure you knock them out.
I'm bro, okay. I'm going to get through my first 20 until I'm, tired, right? 25, my hand probably going to break.
That's right. See, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
See?
My right hand probably going to break. My arm going to be already tired, but I'm still throwing them. At the 25th, it's probably gonna be like my arm, my hand's broken, so I can't throw my right no more. My left, boom, it's gonna get even worse. You feel me? I feel like it's gonna be 75. But that was before I started training Muay Thai. I'll be training Muay Thai for 2 years when it comes June.
Go crazy. It's good. I did it for like 6-7 months. It's good.
It's the best fucking shit ever, right? Mm-hmm. I think 250 is that good number. Cause now, I for sure know I can kick the shit. I'm starting with kicks. I'm starting with teeps, nigga. Like I'm starting with these motherfuckers.
Hey, straight big boots.
Nigga, Vans imprinted on the face.
Exactly.
You feel me? I'm starting with those. So it's gonna be straight exhaustion at that point. And then my broken hand might come at 115.
See, suplexes. I'm gonna do a lot of throws. There's gonna be a lot of throws. Yeah. Spin around, knock down a couple. You know what I mean? Like use their momentum against them. You know, because they're gonna try that mob mentality. You know, I'm gonna try to a lot of reversals.
Right. I can always tell when I ask this question. The niggas that play video games, watch anime, or watch wrestling. Oh, yeah. I can tell by the answers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna keep it real. I do all that.
Running through.
Hey. You gotta see, cause you right. I didn't think about that. You right. My shit'll probably break at some point.
Cause I mean, they got skulls. You feel me? They might be a little bit softer and smaller than ours, but
it's still a bone.
I broke my hand on a nigga's face with 1 punch.
Yeah.
You feel me? That was before I knew how to punch, but I still gave him one solid one.
But at what cost?
Right, exactly. I feel like the biggest dumbass out there.
At what cost? You won the fight, but now you're in a cast for 6 weeks.
Nigga, his ego was bruised. He probably would never have done it with the shit that he was doing again. But I still had, nigga, 4 weeks off.
I understand. I too was the victim of. You do something and then you suffer for it. I broke my leg and my ankle at the same time playing football. Yeah. It was a nightmare. And I realized I tried to block a punt. But there was a person in front of me, right? And I wasn't trying to jump over him, but he took it as an opportunity to flip the shit out of me. So, long story short, I landed on my feet, but the left one wasn't so lucky.
Right.
But it was when I leapt is when I realized, this wasn't a good idea.
Oh, so even before it happened.
Yeah. I was like, this wasn't a good idea. Bruh could have not flipped me.
Right.
But he took it as an opportunity to show out.
Shit, right.
And
Damn. So was that the end of your football career?
Surprisingly, it was not.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I came back the next year. That was the reason my football career ended. I kept getting hurt. It was 3 years in a row where I had season-ending injuries, and it was like it was weird because to that point I had never ever gotten hurt playing ball, and I figured, you know what, this is. I've used up my luck. I've used it up. I've used up. Maybe I'm gonna just stick to this lab. Like I'm just, you know.
White Dave.
I haven't broken my leg once recording music. Like this is fucking bullshit. Like yeah, man. I had surgery in the whole nine, bro. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare.
That's crazy.
But I was back on the field in just under 6 months. I was back on the field.
What position did you play?
In high school, I played running back, linebacker. Okay. In college, I played linebacker and outside linebacker. That's what's up. And yeah, I should have played different positions because I realized that I wasn't going to be 6'3", 260. Very young age. I realized that wasn't going to happen. But you know, niggas can dream. Yeah. You know.
Did you set any resolutions for yourself this year?
Spiritually,
as we go into March, and have a late talk
spiritually, I want to talk to God more.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk to God more. I want to be honest with myself more. I think. That's a bar. Yeah, I think. I see who I am. I no longer trick myself when I look in the mirror. Okay. There was a long period of time when I look in the mirror, and I was fooling myself. I see who I am in the mirror now. And it's a harsh realization.
Right, definitely.
But necessary. At the end of the day, I'm not a bad person. When I look in the mirror, I don't see a bad person. And I think that's the most important thing for me because I was raised with morals. Like, morals are big in my household, big in my family, you know, being a good person. But I realize who I am in a social, artistic being aspect, you know. I am a teacher, and I am a student. Those are two roles that I play in my life often. Oftentimes I'm a lover, oftentimes I'm a fighter, but at the basis of my existence, I'm always learning something and I'm always teaching something, and that's what I'm learning. You know, in the mirror, I've always said, well, I want to see a rapper when I look in the mirror. I want to see that nigga when I look in the mirror. And it's not in the cards for me. Not in the aspect of that's not what I want accomplished, you know what I mean? But I am what I am. Right. I'm a teacher and I'm a student. And that's where I'm at with it. So I try to teach good things and I try to learn good things at the end of the day.
That's a bar.
That's it. Like that's it's weird, but the older I get, and that's what I'm learning. Like, cause as a youth, man, and this will give you some insight into my mind as a youth. I didn't think that I'd live long enough to see 28. Just with not necessarily the decisions I was making, but just like I always felt tired of living. I always felt exhausted. Like. And I realized that comes from outside sources such as being black. Like, niggas are exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm tired of stressing at the end of the day. So I couldn't identify it as a youth, but I identify it now. But I look at myself and I go, damn, like, I'm 28. I'm still here, and I'm trying my best to be good, doing what I can to leave a positive mark on this world. You know, because what we do matters, but it doesn't. And that's kind of how I treat shit. Like, it matters. What we do matters. How I treat you matters.
Right, definitely.
It matters. But then again, it doesn't. But I'm deciding to focus on the legacy that I leave behind. Whether or not I transcend that invisible barrier of stardom in terms of rapping and songwriting and, you know, or that barrier of being a human, being the best human that I could possibly be, you know. I'm embracing it all, you know.
You wise, brother. You got game, big dog.
Man, I'm just reflection.
Yeah.
Reflect. The older I get, the more I appreciate reflecting.
Right.
I didn't reflect well when I was 21, 22 because I was still young-minded, but I hadn't lived long enough to evaluate anything. I feel like at 28, I'm starting to get to a point where I've lived long enough to evaluate the decisions that I've made, the things that I've encountered, and I can explain them to myself better. you know?
Right. That is fucking major. Being able to explain some shit to yourself better. Jesus Christ. Boy, I be explaining a whole bunch of shit to myself. God damn. You know what's crazy though? Like, because I got a daughter. She's 11 now, right?
Which is amazing. By the way, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact. That's awesome.
Biggest blessing ever.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like she's. We get into that stage. She's 11. Like she's just becoming a little woman now. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome,
and so,
man. That's amazing.
Just through my father, through me, like being a father, having to like be able to break shit down to her level so she can understand. Because I'll talk to her like I'll talk to you,
right?
The same way, right? But she'll ask me like, "What does that mean?" Like just the most random word, like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Fuck." Like I know what that means, but like, how do I explain it to somebody that really has no fucking idea, like no reference? Like it's one thing like
a blank canvas,
because it's one thing that's like to take somebody that doesn't speak English and they know English a little bit. You can like. They have enough life experience as an adult to be like, okay, I don't know that word, I don't know the context because fucking English is retarded as hell.
Right.
But when you give it to me in the context, I can put it to a life experience and I can figure it out.
Right.
A 5-year-old can't do that.
Amen.
So then you gotta like, there's been so many times where I've had to break shit down where it's like, wait a minute, like I know what it means, but like to be able to explain it to you. Like, okay, baby, let's Google this because your daddy don't know how to explain it to you.
Let's take it to Google.
Right. Let's actually learn something together. You feel me? And that has helped me a lot with explaining shit to myself, like being able to just break a lot of my feelings, a lot of shit down. Like I take that approach of how would I explain that to Amaya? How would I like talk to her? Like what would I give her if I was going through this issue? I mean, if she was going through this issue as her dad, how would you tell her to navigate this shit? Because as a 34-year-old, I still struggle. I still struggle with a lot of mental shit. You feel me? I'm in my head way too fucking much. That's my biggest flaw.
Right.
So
artists, man.
Yeah.
It's our flaw.
It's the biggest curse, but it's also the biggest gift because we wouldn't be able to give the accurate like this descriptions of life through art that we do without being so fucking hyper aware of shit.
Exactly.
But I hate being so fucking hyper aware sometimes. It's like when Superman is like first gets his powers, nigga, he hears everything. He's like, Dad! And his dad has to tell him, like, okay, you gotta hone that shit. You feel me? And I'm 34. I'm still trying to hone that shit.
It's hard, bro.
It's hard.
I got a question. It's funny that you bring that up.
Okay.
I have a question for you. How does, as an artist, how does your brain work? If you could give me a walkthrough of how your brain works.
How my brain works, man. For one, my brain notices everything because growing up, I've always been a very, very self-conscious and shy kid. You feel me? So I would always be receptive to what people thought of me, what people thought of others, and then what people thought. Like I would then put in relation to myself. Like, okay, if I hear somebody and they're judging that person that way, would they also judge me the same way? So I've always been super hyper aware of how other people thought,
right?
How other people perceive things, and then also of how other people thought about me and how other people thought and perceived me, right?
Right.
So my brain is just super hyper aware of everything. This is a very fucking hard question. Like, damn, this is a great question. I'm gonna have to steal this from you.
Oh no, it's good. I'm
trying to get like a list of questions I like ask, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so it's hyper aware, and but like that's always been my biggest like curse because I feel like I think too much externally. I'm so hyper aware, but then I internalize everything too much. I'm not like too much of an outwardly type of person. Like this podcast has helped me tremendously because it's made me be an outwardly person. I have to like talk about and I have to be outward with my emotions and everything that I'm talking about, right? But fuck, I don't even know how to like really answer the question. Like it's a very hyper aware mind. I don't even know how to like really answer that fucking question, bro.
Well, this is one of those high questions.
Yeah. Damn, that's a good fucking question though.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
But it
how does my mind work?
In discussing it, what me and my homies have discovered, in discussing it, you learn aspects of yourself.
Right.
You discover aspects of yourself.
Right.
And like
can you answer that question?
To a degree, yeah. So like for me, during the creative process, how my brain works, it's almost like it's a room full of me's, but they're all yelling. They're all yelling. They're all screaming at the top of their lungs, but they're all screaming ideas. And whichever one I can catch is the one that I run with. And that's how I work creatively. Like when I hear a new beat or I come up with a new melody. It's a melody that I've had in my head
for a long time.
Finally, you feel me?
Right.
In existing, how my brain works, man. I gauge. I don't read people. I read emotions. I read how people react. I'm all about how people react, and which is why we discussed it earlier. Which is why I'm always super aware of my blackness when I'm around white people.
Right.
Like, because I see how people react when they see me, and I'm so I never want to put anybody in a bad position. I never want to put anybody in a spot where they can't get out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm always thinking of the next person and never about myself. And that's something I've actually had to change about myself, because I spent a lot of time doing things because I thought that, oh, this will be easier for you and this will be easier for you and this will make things okay. But I also realized that that's a result of being a middle child. You know, so there are layers to how your brain works, and there are layers to how your brain develops and how you process things, you know. And I realized that I was living that way because I'm sandwiched between my brothers. I have to play peacekeeper. I was always the peacekeeper in my house. Like, I was always the nigga keeping shit cool, like keeping shit calm. And that's me caring about everybody else as opposed to myself. And that carried over into life. And so, yeah, that's how my brain works on a social scale. I'm always trying to make sure that everyone else is okay. But I've taken to making sure that I'm good.
You're okay. Yeah.
And it's been beneficial. Old habits definitely die hard.
Right, definitely.
You know, I think that's the most challenging thing about trying to change how you think and operate is the old habits are going to resurface. They're going to resurface. They resurface when I drink. They resurface when I'm stressed. They resurface when I'm anxious. But these are all things that I'm going to encounter in life. Right. You know. Yeah. You know, but yeah, it's, you know, I've always I grew up in a loving family.
Same.
And we always wanted to make sure that each other was good. And to a degree that can be somewhat detrimental, especially for a rapper. Typically, rappers are selfish, egotistical, self-centered. Right. And that's how you move up in the business world of things. Like in the business aspect, you do what's good for you. Fuck everybody else.
You know, and I'm so sick of that shit, bro, because I feel like my personality doesn't mesh well with that. And I feel like, damn, maybe I should be a comedian. Because like it seems like comedians be like way more like supportive. In that community, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's like I was just listening to a podcast literally on my way rushing to get here on time where the motherfucker was like, it's Ari Shaffir. He's like, you know, I'll never publicly downplay or down talk another comedian that tried. Like he might be but I'll never say he's a bad comedian because he's still on that stage trying. Right. He's like, I'll do it to anybody else. Right. You know, if a musician sucks, like, dude, your music sucks. Right. If an actor sucks, like, dude, that performance was trash. Right. But I'll never do it to a comedian. And I'm like, why can't rappers be like that? Like, why can't there be a brotherhood? Like, you know what I'm saying? We're so at war with each other. Because
of the nature of rap.
Yeah.
It's the nature of it. Nigga, this shit is, think about how often rap specifically is compared to sports.
Right.
It's a parallel.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's intentional. Rap is competitive. They don't do that with pop stars. They don't do that with R&B stars. Right. They don't do that with rock stars.
They try to because they want to now take, you know, they see how beneficial it is, like promo wise, for two motherfuckers to be like
to head to head, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You know, but on a rap level, nigga, this shit is personal.
Yeah,
it's personal. If a nigga weak, then you got to call him out.
Right,
like that's
it starts,
and that's the nature of it. Like this rap shit not for the faint of heart.
But see now, like it what sucks about it is like passive aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like before. I don't know. I can't say before. I'm just going. You know, it seemed like, nigga, if you weak, you're gonna get called out because, nigga, I'm on stage right now and you supposed to be the hot shit, but I got the mic, nigga. So go grab another mic, nigga. Let's make. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure out who the best is.
Exactly.
But now it's like, no, I got my mic and I'm, you know, I got this phone and I'm gonna like be on this camera and like this nigga that I got beef with is like across the world, but I'm about to just passively aggressively, you know,
diss him,
not even gonna say his name. I'm gonna diss him kinda and let the fans make, you know what I'm saying, like
that shit. But it's, you know, like anything, over time, shit loses its edge.
Yeah,
like anything. Think about No Vaseline, right? Think about Hit 'Em Up, right. Think about vintage Tyler the Creator. I'm talking 8-9 years ago. Tyler the Creator, when he first was dropping Yonkers and shit like that, and like Odd Future, exactly.
Nigga was wild.
Exactly. Over time, shit loses its sharpness.
Right,
it loses what makes it definitive. It loses its edge.
Right.
And rap has lost its edge. Like, we got a little bit of a ruggedness when Pusha T went at Drake, but it still wasn't like, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Like,
right.
like, you know, like, it's lost its grit, you know. But it's just it's a victim. That's time.
Right.
It's just time.
But there's a difference between like being competitive and then like literally just not like. You know, it's one thing to be competitive. Like, say, for instance, like, I mean, I guess I was going to say Tory Lanez, but he might be a bad example because this nigga kind of took shit too far. But before he did that shit to, what's his dude named? Dram or something like that?
Yeah, Dram.
He's kind of like a dude that wasn't famous, came at him, and he kind of like stepped to the nigga in the street. Yeah. Shit, like, before that.
Dram tight, though. I fuck with Dram.
He's like from Toronto or something, right?
Drum
no.
From Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez from Toronto.
No, right, but no, Drum is the nigga that I like to cha-cha, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, they didn't have a beef. It was I forgot what this.
He was beefing with Drake, wasn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he was over the cha-cha with the. But no, there was a dude that with, you know, this most recent like string of Tory Lanez going up against motherfuckers. But there was a dude that's kind of like a more of an unnamed rapper made a diss song to Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, instead of responding, pulled up on this nigga in the street. And there's a video of what looks like it's either after a scuffle because both of them niggas is out of breath. Tory Lanez is behind the camera in a car. The dude, I forgot. I want to say his name is Drum, but I guess it's not because that's the I like the cha-cha nigga. I forgot what this nigga's name is. He's outside of the thing, and Tory's like, yeah, nigga, you already know what it is. Like, apologize. And bruh, it's like, all right, I'm sorry for making a diss. Like, you could tell, like, they either drew down on a nigga or they, like, jumped. They did something. Like, he went a little bit too far with the shit. So I was going to use him as an example, but I'm still going to use him as an example. Pre this thing, it was like, Tory was, okay, I'm a singer, but I got bars. Any of you niggas out there want it, like, let's go competitively. You feel me? On some competitive shit. It was like, okay, even like with him with Jordan Lucas, like they did they shit, then they got on live together. Like, yeah, you was tight, bro. Like, that's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be still like the brotherhood.
It's sport. It's a friendly bout.
Right. It should be a brotherhood, but it shouldn't be like, okay, nigga, like, I'm going to make sure that this nigga don't get these opportunities type of shit. You feel me? Like,
some niggas, man, you know, I mean, honestly, that's better than back in the day. Back in the day, you get smoked.
Right, true.
Nigga, back in the day, rap beef would get you smoked.
You right.
Didn't Mac Dre die on some rap beef?
I can't speak on, I don't know.
I heard he got smoked on some, it may have not been rap beef, but it was beef nonetheless.
Right.
Like, that shit, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
You know that shit, man. I haven't encountered any beef yet.
Yeah, I don't want
like
no
rap
smoke.
beef.
I don't want no smoke.
I haven't encountered any yet. You know, I've encountered like regular beef, like a nigga like bump into me wrong or like step on my kicks or something. But
would you? You know what's crazy? Like there's a few artists out there that if they was to ever say some shit, I got bars ready for them. And that's not. And I'm not a lyrical, spiritual type of nigga. You feel me? But there's a couple that I just know personally enough that if it was to ever, and not even on like nigga, like it's like if it's ever on some like even on some friendly competition shit, I got bars for a couple of motherfuckers out there. But I feel like when I be thinking about this shit, because I laugh about it sometimes, because I be thinking about the bars.
You always ready.
I'm always ready.
Keep that thing too.
That's only for a select few. But I feel like I should keep a couple in the chamber for every Bay Area rapper out here.
You got to. What?
I damn near about to. I'm about to.
Man,
I'm gonna add to the repertoire.
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how I treat it. I love my niggas to death.
Right.
When I get on tracks with my niggas, man, when I get on tracks with Cliff, Trey Coastal, Kale, well, not, sorry, he's Ian Kelly now.
Right.
Shout out
to Ian Kelly.
Shout out Kales, man. You know, Kale's not doing so hot right now. You know, the R. Kelly.
Oh, right.
You know how that shit go. But you know, I man, when I get on when I get on tracks with my niggas, man, nigga, flame on.
Right, slaughter.
You better bring it.
Right.
You better bring it. I'm bringing it. You know,
sure. And that's how it should be. It should be that type of competition.
Same goes for features.
Yeah.
You come get a feature. Hey, thank you for the business. Right. Please believe that I'm trying to outshine you.
Right.
On your own shit.
I feel like you know what's crazy? I was thinking about this literally like yesterday or two days ago. Mm-hmm. I think I'm a better feature rapper than I've always been a better feature rapper than my own. And I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna tell you what, I just seen a meme about it and it was funny because I'm a Ty Dolla $ign fan.
Okay.
But it was a meme about Ty Dolla $ign.
Uh-huh.
And it had Ty Dolla $ign solo, and it had like a regular picture of SpongeBob, and then it said a Ty Dolla $ign feature, and it had SpongeBob hella yoked up. And I was like, it was funny. It made me laugh, but it made me laugh because I love Ty Dolla $ign as an artist. I love his music. He's remarkable. Yeah. But he does show his ass on features. Like he goes Super Saiyan on features.
But you know what's crazy? I can't even subscribe to that because like. What was it? Free TC was the most slept on album that year.
It was very good.
I love that fucking album.
He gives us consistent content.
Bruh, Beach House 3 was amazing.
It was amazing.
But he's also got some monster features.
Yeah.
I drove down last weekend to Pismo Beach, and I wanted to listen to a specific Ty Dolla $ign song that it's not his song, he's featured on it. Mm-hmm. So I typed into my shit, you know, on Apple Music where you type in, search it, but then you like search for your shit. Right. So it just went through the list of everything. So I just put that whole list on shuffle. And, you know, 3-hour ride, I'm like, Ty, this nigga has been on like consistent.
He raw.
Some clean ass song.
He's phenomenal.
Hella clean ass
He's phenomenal.
song.
He's definitely on my dream feature list.
Yeah.
All right,
for sure.
I got one for you. Five on your dream feature. Dead or alive too.
Okay.
Dead or alive.
Kanye.
He's on mine too.
Fuck. Kanye, Kings of Leon, Tame Impala. I'm gonna go with Ty as well.
Amen.
That last one, who would be my dream feature? I'm horrible with these fucking type of lists.
Oh no stress.
Picking this last.
No stress.
I'm gonna go with Pac.
Amen.
I'm gonna go with Pac just because,
okay.
like, you know, that's the reason why I'm rapping.
If you can get it, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
There's probably a sixth out there that I'm like, oh, I should have said him.
This isn't the definitive. I'm not locking this shit in or nothing. No stress. For me, it's a rotating list.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a rotating list.
Definitely.
Like Kanye, of course, is at the top. I am a Kanye man. College Dropout came out when I was in 8th grade, and I bought the album at the Berkeley Flea Market for $5.
Bar.
Yeah, it was just burned on the on a white sleeve.
Right.
I bought it for $5.
Changed your life, huh?
Changed my fucking life. Changed my fucking life, and that was the same year the Black Album came out.
Yeah.
My 8th grade year in particular, the Black Album came out that year. College Dropout came out that year. Speaker Box Love Below came out that year.
Damn.
And so that particular year was like.
Right.
But I go on tangents all day, bro. But Ye, Hall & Oates.
Okay.
are on my list.
Okay.
They are my favorite group of all time.
Okay.
Yes, Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates.
Mm-hmm.
Swiss Beats.
Okay.
Got two more. Kia.
My Neck, My Back?
Yes.
Damn,
yes.
That's rare.
Yes. Yes.
She be boring shit, though.
Yes.
She be boring shit, though.
Now, the popular choice would be Trina, but there's something about Kia's voice on the track.
No, she be boring shit, bro.
It fits.
She even had like I remember she had like a newer song that came out like a year or two ago. Was it like a Christmas song or something? Where she was like boring.
Go crazy.
I remember seeing something on Twitter where she was like had a video, and I'm like, she's still boring. She's like full auntie vibes now, but she boring.
Which I fuck
shit,
with though.
Yeah.
I fuck with that heavily. Like like go crazy.
She got that ghetto auntie mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. which I'm with. Like that. Hey, shout out all the aunties.
Right.
Shout out all the aunties. God damn it.
Big aunties.
Man.
Oh, you got
bring
your
me
laugh.
to the family function.
Right.
That's auntie who?
Right. What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Them aunties be liking them, you know what I'm saying? Them 28 to 35-year-olds too.
What? Hey, all day.
I love an auntie.
All day.
Man. I wouldn't date one, but I for sure snuck away with an auntie.
Oh, absolutely. Let's just hang out. Let's just do stuff. Like it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Right. Let's just, you feel me?
What your mac and cheese taste
like? Exactly. Can you? Do you cook it in a big ass pot? Is it a big ass?
Can I play Xbox with your son?
Yeah, like
you ever dated a girl that was older that had like a teenage son?
No.
You played once, and I was playing Xbox with the nigga.
Please make a record about that shit, please, nigga, please.
And I was younger at the time. Like Amaya was like maybe like 4, I think. So I was in like I was still in my 20s at that time.
I for sure mess with girls with kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, but she ain't had the teenage.
What? Because girls with kids, they appreciate. Look, this is for all my niggas in the struggle.
All right.
Women with kids appreciate. I don't know how. What can I say on this show?
You can say, nigga. You can say whatever the fuck you want
it's
to.
amazing, man. Man, look, single. Look,
I own this shit.
Single moms appreciate the penis. They do. They understand. They understand
at all.
Because they have a full schedule and a busy day, and to even have the opportunity to work that into their schedule.
They can schedule some dick.
Man,
I love. You know what? Some spontaneous sex is great.
Absolutely.
But I also do love some scheduled sex. Like I know that I love when I know I'm about to get that shit.
Yes, but also
some scheduled pussy is good.
Hey,
I ain't gonna lie.
It's great, but here's the thing. I gotta make it to that point. I have to make it to that point. When I know I got sex coming, I get excited. I'm like, ooh. Right. And I'm like, wait, I have an entire day of life to live before I can even get there, Yeah,
we've all had that 12-hour hard on.
For the whole day.
Oh, what I'm going to do today.
Exactly. Talk about what I'm finna do. You spend the day talking about what I'm finna do.
You know what's the worst? Is when you think all day about what you finna do and you don't even be able to.
Hey, hear it. Hey, I'll admit it here and now. It's one of two. It's one of two.
It's your fault, bitch. Your pussy shouldn't be so good.
Honestly, you either getting 10 hours or 10 seconds.
Right.
There is no middle ground. I've discovered it, and it's so unfortunate. I'll be like,
every time.
This is gonna be one of those 10-second ones.
I can feel it. I can feel it coming. Yep. Right, and I pull out and stop.
Yep. See, I don't have the wherewithal. I don't. Well.
No, there's been times where I was like, oh, it's feeling too good. I got you. But I'll stop it, and then I have the worst time trying to come. Yeah. It's like she's like, "Are you done?" I wish I was.
Maybe
right. If I would have came when I really wanted to, you'd be pissed off. So you're gonna have to be pissed off taking this 3-hour dick.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, and you know,
it's funny as fuck.
You know, people say, oh, I would love some sex for 3-4 hours. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, you get raw after a while.
Right, it
gets sensitive.
Right.
So take breaks. There's nothing wrong with breaks. I'd rather
break.
4 15-minute intervals as opposed to just 60 minutes. Yeah, straight. No. You know, hydration is very.
But then
very
again,
key,
I hate when a girl makes fun of a nigga that comes quick. Okay, first off, it's your fault.
It's your fault,
bitch.
It's your fault.
You shouldn't have a good ass fucking pussy.
It's your fault. Sorry.
Right? It's your fault. It's not mine. Don't make fun of me.
Yeah.
Build yourself up.
Amen.
Like you
Don't
should
criticize.
You should walk away like I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They should walk away
Some
like
type
that.
of confidence.
Right. Don't break me down because you feeling hella good. Like,
because what if put the shoe on the other foot? Oh, but it's not. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
It's your fault.
Exactly.
But
shout out the ladies anyway.
Right.
Shout out the ladies dating Minutemen. That's some type of dedication. That's some type of dedication. That's some type of dedication.
Crazy? Like, it's okay. We say Minutemen, but like many of my homegirls that I've had these talks with, and like even like shit I've seen like reading on Reddit with like experiences. A lot of women don't even like super long ass sessions like that. Like that 15 to 25 minutes is kind of like that key. But you know, it is what it is. Sex is sex.
Yeah,
But all your girls out there with that good ass pussy, stop putting on us. Don't fucking put us down.
Man, if you know, keep it to yourself.
Right. Like it's your fault. God damn it. Shit.
If you know what it'll do, keep it to yourself.
Right, for real. Don't put that evil on me, motherfucker. Shit.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Right. All right, let's end this shit, bro. You want to plug anything?
Man, shit. Black Panther took home some Oscars today. That was lit. That was lit. Blessings. Album comes out next month.
Right.
Shout out Kev H. Shout out Boom. Shout out Betty. Shout out A1. Shout out Vice City Beach Music. Shout out. I'm trying to make sure I get all the producers. Eyes Low. Shout out Mindo Rock. Bless. That's pretty much it. I don't want them to start playing the music. You know, what I mean? playing nigga
cut you off like they did Dre.
Wrap it up. Exactly.
All right, give some advice. Anything you can think of. It don't have to be. It doesn't have to even be serious.
Oh man.
Any advice you can give.
So not recently single, but like relatively recent single.
Okay.
Go out and like have sex. Not like fuck everybody, but like go out and connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay to connect with people sexually, and it's okay to have bad sexual experiences, and it's okay to have good ones. Like it's, I feel like there's, especially on women. For men, it's not so bad, but for women, there's like this stigma put on like women like wanting to be sexually liberated and sexually free. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
There's nothing wrong with that, and don't let a nigga shame you for wanting to have sex. Like niggas go out and have sex all the time, and nobody. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say if a nigga does, strike him on that list of niggas that are just irrelevant. Exactly.
Because there's men out here that don't fit that mode of like the worst niggas that y'all been dealing with in your life. Strike him as one, put him on that list. Don't deal with him again. Move on to somebody that's gonna appreciate it and know what the real world is.
Exactly. Yeah. And niggas swear to God that they wanna fuck a girl who do X, Y, and Z and blah 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 blah, but they wanna fuck virgins. So what do you want, my nigga? Like, do you want a girl who's finna ooh la la, or you want a virgin? Like, it's niggas who go, oh my God, she's got 8 bodies.
That's a
really
good
like,
time.
Really, nigga, that nigga, what? Nigga, that's pretty good. We 28,
like,
we
I ain't
got
gotta
8. Like,
teach
that's
nothing. Right.
Like, look, like, okay, like for sure, like it's lit. Like niggas lose their minds, bro. Like I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
I love a slut, bro. Like, and like the slut is not to say that in the negative kind of like. I love
it's sexually liberated.
I love somebody that I don't have to like feel uncomfortable. Like, do I got to teach her? Like, do I have to like feel uncomfortable because I've done some wild ass shit and now you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I like somebody that knows what the fuck
like,
they doing.
Lit. Exactly.
Come on, baby. I'm 34.
Niggas are intimidated, bro. Niggas are intimidated by women who are independent, be liberated.
Right.
Like free and free thinking and able to do shit with their own intentions and own mindset. Like I love that shit.
Yeah.
Like
me too.
I love an aggressive woman. I love a woman who like is like, hey, like what's popping?
Right.
To me, that's the most attractive.
I've had the best relationships with girls that have slid in my DMs or have like approached me.
Word.
Hey, fucking man, y'all women out there, if you feeling somebody, go in. You know what I'm saying? Shoot that shot, baby.
For me, you got to do something like you have to do something that sets you apart from everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's crazy because like, I talk to my homies all the time and they'll be like, oh man, you know XYZ, she fire as fuck, and I'll be like, yeah, but like what else? Mm-hmm. Give me something a little. You feel me? Like, you know, I feel like a woman showing that she's aggressive and assertive. Mm-hmm. Sexy points all day.
Yeah, all day.
100%.
For sure. My advice, were you done?
Yeah, hell yeah.
My advice, stop filming your friends beat up racist people.
Yes, because that's a lawsuit.
That's a fucking lawsuit, and they can come back and win in the end. They can call somebody a nigger, get knocked out, and then be a millionaire the next day.
Yep.
Stop it.
And take your granny house away from you.
Just stop it. Like if you see somebody, a white person call somebody a nigger, and then you want to bring your phone out to them, get them fired for them job. As soon as somebody, one of your partners, or not even your partner, somebody you see step up to them, put your phone away. Do not get that on camera. I saw one of my partners who was a security guard in an establishment in Oakland recently get at basically knock a white dude out that called another nigga, another dude a nigger, and but all you see in the video is him come to dude. And him up on the shit like, why you call him a nigger? Why you call him a nigger? Punched him, but everybody knows who this dude is.
Right.
I saw this shit, I'm like, bro, that shouldn't be on camera. Like your partner, you should go knock your partner out for filming it and then put it on the internet.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Stop filming your partners beat up racists.
If you're gonna beat up racists, don't film it.
Right. If it happens, I'm telling all my partners, put your phones away because I'm about to go do something.
I'm about
to go knock this nigga smooth out. Put your phone away. Don't film this. People don't know Beejus like this. Don't let them see it.
Exactly. But you know, we live in that society, motherfuckers. We're inadvertently surveilling ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't even realize that could have went on and it would have went on, and if you were there to appreciate it, great. But now it exists forever.
It exists, exactly.
Even if you snatch it offline, it exists.
Somebody
forever.
It.
Somebody got it.
Somebody got it. And you never know. This dude could, this white dude could wake up the next day and be like, man, I was wrong, but I have a lawyer, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't. So I'm about to go, and now I just see myself get knocked out. Oh, guess what?
Yep, here's my evidence.
And now people know him because he works he works at this establishment. It probably wasn't too far away from his job. Like, stop filming your partners beat up racists. Fuck the racists. I'm not trying to defend them, but just stop filming your partners. Stop filming illegal shit anyway. Put your fucking phones away,
Put your phone away and live in the moment.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. It's an open door. Anytime you want to come back and chop some shit up, it's an open door.
It's Gucci.
Oh, you guys out there, thank you guys so much. Remember, go to aquafreespirit.com. That's where all this shit's going to be housed now. The YouTube is YouTube/aquafreespirit. Go subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. All that good shit. And as always, go fuck yourselves. Bye-bye.